All right, here we go. So, we've been away for some time. Um,
Indeed.
so, obviously, it's been a couple weeks. We haven't made any videos. A couple of life things have both come up our way. So, we have not been around. And but we have kept our eyes peeled on everything that's been going on. And given that we are trying to start this show and build this from the ground up, I feel like we'd be doing ourselves a disservice and fans out there, whoever may watch, if we don't talk about this shit. So we've literally set aside time from our both of our tumultuous fucking personal lives right now to talk about what's going on with WWE. This is the state of WWE. So welcome back to your future endeavors podcast. I haven't said this in 2 weeks, so I'm fucking it up. I'm Diavolo,
I'm Lunchbox.
and we're excited to be back making videos.
Yes.
Like I said, we both have had uh, some very important life events happen that we needed to
Yeah.
take some time away for. But we're working on getting everything back together, back to normal, and we're here now. And like I said, this is going to be the state of WWE. This is kind of off the cuff. We got some things to say about these
Oh
these
yes.
releases, and I think the state of WWE from from an external point of view as a fan looking in. And how we're gonna try to break it down to exactly how we feel about this because it's not good. Um, Obviously, anybody losing their job, especially like given the state of the world right now, is not a good thing. Um, but especially whenever you are given bullshit reasons, it seems, uh, for losing your job. You don't really, you're pretty much given a hollow explanation as to what's really going on. It seems like a lot of these talent are left in the dark. Um, so yeah, so it's been really difficult to stay supportive of WWE, especially this year. Given the releases started happening a lot last year, but this year has been something else. And we just sat down and talked about this actually. I think we counted up 65 since April. 65 professional wrestlers and superstars who have been cut from WWE. Um, some have asked for it, some didn't. Some were itching to get on TV, and almost inexplicably just sent home with nothing to do for fucking 3 months because of 90-day no complete clauses. So, um, yeah, this is probably gonna be a negative one. We'll say,
Oh yes.
we'll say that.
Ain't even gonna lie.
So, yeah, well, 65 talent have been released since April. Um, and from what I've read, from looking through Twitter as I've gotten home from work today, it looks like there's a potential that there could be more. From what I've seen from some reports. So yeah, I don't know how trustworthy those sources are, but I wouldn't fucking doubt it if it was true. So, um, Mr. Lunchbox, I know that you especially have some choice words. So, um, and I know you've been itching to get it off your chest. So here it is, man. Let's fucking just lay it on him. Ooh
Vincent
boy.
Kennedy fucking McMahon. What in the absolute fuck is wrong with you?
So fucking true, man.
You are going to run your company into the ground single handedly. Fuck band aids, fuck kissing your boo boo, fuck all that. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm gonna put the metaphorical shotgun to your head. What the fuck is wrong with you? You have arguably the best talent in the world, and you keep letting them go. but you want people to watch your fucking product that is dookie.
Yeah.
Straight dookie.
Oh, that part right there. It's
Like, your
man.
son in law is fucking hand picking golden apples for you, and you're throwing them away for these rotten eggs like Goldberg.
Right. Right. Exactly. And
I,
I'll say his match against Bobby Lashley is probably the best match he's had in years. But that doesn't justify anything that's happened over like the last five, trying to damn near killing people or anything, right? Like, so let's, you know, Goldberg had one decent match in the last 10 years. Some people will probably fucking get ahead of themselves. Just shut your fucking mouth. Like it fucking, they keep bringing him back every quarter for one of the big four pay-per-views to put him against somebody who he will inevitably bury, and they'll never get that same momentum again. It's crazy. Um, I would be shocked to see if Bobby Lashley was in a strong or as strong or stronger position in the near future ever again. But you're right, and obviously very emotional. So let's try to break that down a little bit. So um, you're right. I think he does have the best talent in the world. And down in NXT, you got people like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and obviously all the trainers and stuff behind the scenes that have picked these talent for a reason. My thing is that they did okay, so they did this whole big like stockpile of talent back in like what, like 3 years ago, something, 3 4 years ago. I
yeah.
can't remember the exact time. And then they put all these people on their payroll with nothing to fucking do. So like what are y'all doing with like, so what's the point? Are you just trying to like, maybe there's just something I don't understand from the business sense of it. I'm willing to accept that. But my thing is, you have all this great talent, but there's all I'm having huge difficulties putting this like the way I really want to. All this talent in the world, like 100 plus wrestlers, right? But it seems like there's really only a focus on like a consolidated maybe like 10, right? Like, and whenever we do get new storylines, they're not fleshed out because it's just like rematches after rematches, right? So you have all this talent, but it's but only like a fucking a tenth of that of these people are really getting screen time. They run shit into the ground with all these rematches, and yet they claim they don't have anything for these people. So how do you have nothing for these people but so much repeat content to do each week? I don't fucking understand that. And like you literally got people sitting in catering, fucking eating your food, like just sitting back there waiting for an opportunity. You see your fans are upset. A lot of people are switching over to AEW. Hell, even Impact right now because of the way that they manage their talent, like of who gets screen time. It's like the storylines are fleshed out and just better. Obviously there are some fucking gems in WWE. You got people like Roman Reigns doing his thing. Obviously, like he's probably the the best thing in wrestling at the you could argue, but other than that, there's the Seth and Edge was pretty compelling, but I, what's really going on in WWE aside from whatever happens with the bloodline and whoever they come across that's actually a compelling storyline? I am hard pressed to think of one. I mean, Seth and Edge is over. That was decent. They're two of the best workers in the world. They're gonna have a good story. Um, I just I hate seeing like all these people come in. They become my favorite wrestlers over time. Like I wasn't too aware of Keith Lee whenever he was on the Indies, right? And he made a big impression on me, right? Like
Mhm.
it just being able to do what he does. And not aside from in-ring ability, the dude damn near fucking died this year, bro. Like he like what was, it was like heart inflammation and stuff. Like he got COVID and his heart was inflamed or something like that. Like some fucking crazy thing happened to the man. His fucking wife, I believe they're married or they're engaged or married. No, they're essentially married. Just took time away to fucking take care of this man, make sure he didn't die. They get him back on screen, give him a new gimmick, a fucking change and everything, and just cut him. Uh, for like what? Like did you think that his health was such a liability? Like was it that bad? Like if you thought he couldn't wrestle, you couldn't offer him another job. What about Tyson Kidd? Dude had his career ended, but he's a fucking trainer now. He's working in backstage. Yeah, there's like nothing for these people, like at all. You're telling me like for 65 people, you couldn't come up with one storyline that lasted for maybe 3 months. You're telling me out of the 65 talent that's really and let's go through some of the names, shall we? Let's go through some of these names.
Let's do this.
So I'll try to keep a lot of like I'll keep it towards the major names, right? Because there's a lot to go through. But you got Keith Lee, so former NXT champion, NXT North American champion, held them both at the same time. Got called up. Um, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like at first, Keith Lee looked like they were giving him a really good chance, like a really good shot to be the man. They put him into the main event scene right away. He was having matches with Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. Even beat Randy Orton at Backlash, uh, at a pay-per-view. Like against fucking Randy Orton. Like won against him. They had plans to put the United States title on him. Fucking unfortunately, like like with the sickness and everything, like he had to step away. Ended up going to Riddle that night, but uh, he, he comes back. He's got this change in attitude. They literally Aleister Blacked him. Like if you think about it, like he came back from a fucking long absence, gave him this new sort of gimmick. He had this new intensity about him. Came back, fucking ran through Akira Tozawa, fucking shot him out of the sky, then fucking just disappeared into the darkness. He's never coming back. Fucking like how fucking Aleister Black literally came back, kicked Big E's head off, went into the dark, and just went to AEW. Fucking 3 weeks later, he's in AEW kicking off Cody's head. Fucking so someone like him who's a champion, he became the champ last year, a little over a year ago. It was probably at the height of his fucking career at that point, right? Like he just came off of like this huge wave of momentum with Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble and stuff.
Rumble.
Like being in the ring with people like Roman Reigns and having had showing the fuck out. Being in the ring with people like Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman, who we'll get to in a minute. So you mean to tell me that this dude that it obviously seemed like you had some sort of faith in him, so you couldn't come up with anything for this guy? And then Keith Lee was uh such a detriment to your budget that you felt like you had to get rid of him? Whenever you're making more money at any point in the company's history right now, okay, so if you're cutting budget for talent, where's that money going? It sure as hell isn't going into your content production.
Nope.
You sure? I mean, you're sure as hell. I mean, Raw has been a shit show. I haven't got a chance to like catch everything that's happened over the last 2 weeks, but I mean, just the past year of evidence is not enough to suffice for 2 weeks of good shows if they have been good. I haven't got the chance to see them with everything going on. Um, but fucking, you know, I imagine they're probably like average at best. Fucking,
Mm-hmm.
which, you know, like it's at best is what we're getting week in week out from this company. Um, and I guess that really provides the question, right? So like I said, like if you're cutting budget for talent, if it's enough for fucking 65 people to lose their job and be sitting on their couches, fucking where's that money going?
Mm.
Was it going
Good question.
to more pyro, which we don't need? Is it
Nope.
going to these fuck like is it going to like trainers and like
And
adding in more getting in more like backstage staff? Because if that was the case, if you were hiring like more writers and like a creative team, for an example, the content would be better. So I don't fucking understand what's going on here. The reason that fucking that Roman Reigns' storyline is so good is because he doesn't listen to the writers.
like that should tell you your product is terrible. When the best thing about your show is the one guy who doesn't listen to what you say.
He fucking writes. He and Paul Heyman just be writing their own shit, bro. Like, okay, so like, exactly like, where is this fucking money going? What are you just upgrading the ring ropes? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I'm really not sure. It's not like you're releasing like, I hate the, for lack of a better term, like bottom of the barrel talent, like the people that are not nearly as established. Like, I don't say that they're not like nearly as talented, but in terms of like status within the company and like who's established, right? You know, fucking like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. They're at the top of the barrel. You at the bottom, you got people like you go through like a Katrina Cortez who has a couple matches, but is essentially a jobber, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't want anybody to lose their job, but if you're gonna cut costs in an area, like why are you cutting people that people are behind? Like Keith Lee, Karrion Cross. I wasn't the biggest fan of Nia Jax, but she's a former Raw Women's Champion, so I mean, that's a big deal. And nobody ever thought that was gonna happen because of her relation to The Rock, so that's a huge thing. So nobody's safe. They don't give a fuck about your family either. So so Keith Lee's gone. Karrion Cross is gone. They literally brought him up from NXT to be this badass, turned him into a gimp, and sent him on his way. Fucking Ember Moon. What?
that's.
Fucking
I think it.
that's a real wild one to me because like she reinvented herself, went back to NXT, was having a really good run. She was, you know, in the mix of all the NXT Women's Tag Title stuff whenever that was coming out. Like her and Shotzi were doing really good as a team and stuff, but it, you know, they just even then, her run in NXT the second time around was way better than her main roster run. But it's still like it still felt. I don't want to say it fell flat, but it wasn't it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. But she's still one of the best workers that they got.
Yep.
So that was a confusing thing for me. Um, and especially because she was just having matches with people like I mean she just had a match with Raquel not long ago. People like
Yep.
Cora Jade, she had a match with. I think she was on NXT like not even like a week or two ago. So, it's she she was around. You know, it wasn't like she had anything major going on, but she was around and she was an established talent, former NXT Women's Champion for a reason. Um, so what the
Yeah.
fuck's going on with that? So I guess just sent the wolf back to the herd. Fucking goddamn Eva Marie, we've been on record talking plenty of times about how we dislike Eva Marie, but fucking they brought her back for like 4 months. The only thing we got out of her run was Dewdrop. Dewdrop. I love Piper Niven, but you brought Eva Marie back to change her fucking name and then just let her go. Fucking last we saw Eva Marie, she's getting her shit stomped in by Shayna Baszler. Pretty sure. You serious? Like, and y'all brought her back in the middle of fucking releasing Bray Wyatt, Aleister Black, Braun Strowman, and Ruby Riott. It was like right in the middle of that time. Like, why? Like she may not have been a great talent, but she was at least fucking like around on TV, right? Fucking here we go. Mia Yim literally fucking took time off to save her husband's life. God damn it, dude. Like fucking literally fucking made sure the dude didn't die in his bed. Fucking Christ, dude. Brought him back, had her drafted and everything. Nothing. Fucking nothing. Goddamn. Lucha House Party. They asked for it. You know, they were a good team. I felt like they were very underutilized. I mean, they were very good luchadors. Uh,
Yes.
so I find it to be weird. But I mean, they wanted it, but they still didn't. They probably wanted it because of the same reasons that a lot of these people uh for a lot of the same reasons that these people were like getting treated by, like, you know what I mean, like they weren't getting on TV. You know, they I think they definitely saw the forest before the trees for this one. like like they knew they were probably on their way out, so they asked for it, which I guess is smart on their part. But fucking you know, it's they were still very much underutilized, even if they wanted that or not. Trey Baxter just brought him in not too long ago. He's in a relationship with someone who is getting a good push right now. He was even a kind of a part of that storyline. Um, so it seems weird that they decided to get rid of him. He was in the breakout tournament.
Hmm.
He was putting on some decent showing. So I'm not sure exactly the plan with that was. You know, Jessie Kamea was up and coming, and she was paired with Frankie Monet. They axed both of them. Both of them were brought in for what seemed like a breath, and fucking they went on their way. Um, and I just, Frankie Monet literally had an NXT Women's Championship match like a couple weeks ago. I and she's married to John Morrison. Like, I don't know. It just there's something I've noticed here. There's a fucking theme of couples. They just fucking axed everybody who was in a relationship. Goddamn B-Fab literally just got called up because of Hit Row.
Exactly. One of the hottest things on NXT. So hot that they got called up before they
Oh,
really got to shine on NXT. Like that's how hot they were. And you get rid of her. Why?
she was literally like their Lil Kim.
Exactly.
It's
You know
not gonna
what?
be the same without her. Like I'm telling you, like Hit Row is not gonna be the same. I think they'll be okay. Like Top Dollar, Shanti, Swerve, they're great, but BFAT, like it
It's
was a
not
di-
gonna be the same.
it's not gonna be the same because she added a different element. Like I said, she was the Lil Kim of the group. Like if you think about it, if you want to think about it from that perspective, fucking
I,
like just uh, she just got called up with Hit Row.
Mhm. You
Why?
know,
Did you not see anything in her as a wrestler? I thought she put on a couple good matches. You know, I think she had two in NXT, and then there was the one for sure with fucking Elektra Lopez. Pretty decent, hard hitting, innovative. They did some different things, but she was really good on the mic. That was like she was a really good mouthpiece for them. Everybody could talk, but she was the one that like held it down. You know what I mean? It was held it fucking down. It seemed like in that group. I don't
yep.
under, don't understand that one at all. Oni Lorcan, they actually like really genuinely in my opinion had something whenever whenever they teamed up Oni, Danny Burch, Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland. They
Yep.
definitely, but honestly looking back at it now with how soon that they broke them up and we were kind of like what the fuck is going on with that? I'm under the impression that this decision was made like a month or two ago. Um or that
Yep.
a lot of these decisions have been made like it wasn't like a last minute thing. It was just like let's pull some fucking names out of a hat and send some people home. Like these were it feels deliberate. I don't know. Then you got Scarlett, who was literally fucking okay. This one's really hard. So Karrion Kross is like a lot of his mystique, a lot of like what made him such a special commodity down in NXT was the fact that he had Scarlett in his corner. Like a lot of like kind of like similar to BFAB in a sense, is like she brought that something extra, that cherry on top to the gimmick that just made it just wrapped everything up in a perfect ball, right? So whatever reason she like goes off TV, like we didn't even get like a reason why she was gone. Like they just kind of fucking put her off TV, got the title off of Karrion Kross, called him up, and it completely ruined him.
Uh-huh.
It absolutely ruined him. And I'm not to say that Cross can't go on his own. He definitely can. But with the gimmick that he had established there in WWE, fucking like that, like I said, Scarlett was that cherry on top. It wrapped it all together. It was the bow on the fucking Christmas present.
Exactly. And you know what gets me about it is like Vince is treating these people like they're not a draw, but when they were in NXT, they were beloved. They were beloved when they were on the Indies, but they become even more beloved under the tutelage of Triple H,
Yes.
and people are ready to see them go to the main roster. And then Vince McMahon changes everything about them, and then when people are getting mad about it, and Vince isn't putting them on TV, Vince wants to say they're not a draw, but Vince never gives these people a chance. Like, I know we were talking about the list of people that have been released this year, and how many of them were people that Vince signed and never gave a shot, like never put them on TV,
Right.
like none of that. Like Vince is calling all these people and saying they're not a draw, they're all this other crap, you know. But
Yeah.
he's not giving them a chance. He's not looking at these people twice. They're not what Vince McMahon wants, so Vince McMahon says they're not a draw, so Vince McMahon kicks them to the curb. Like,
Right. And
yeah,
and it
yeah,
seems
go ahead.
like they it's how do I put this? Like like what is the issue with people whenever they are called up from NXT? Like what exactly is the issue? Why do they have to change so much?
Exactly.
Even if you just notice fucking like small things, like it's weird. Like whenever Keith Lee got called up, like all of a sudden like he's wearing a leotard and he's got different music, and obviously that's for like different reasons, but like all this stuff it changed about like everything that they built you up, that to encapsulate you in this character, is all stripped away now.
I,
So and so you ev- why is it that you know being called up from NXT is almost like a death sentence? And it's because it's like they make you change everything about yourself. Like
exactly.
like you have to start fresh for what? Like a Matt like they were about to have Adam Cole, who luckily like his name would probably be on this list right now today. Actually,
Yep.
if you think about it, his name would probably be on this list today because they were trying to make him fucking like what was it, like Keith Lee's manager, and he was supposed to like change his name and like get a haircut and all this shit. It's like, no, you're taking who Adam Cole is and just turning him into a fucking into a nematode.
Ex-
Like
ex- ex-
like like you're taking everything about him, that like his connection with the crowd and the Bay and the boom and all that, and like this huge connection. Like Vince would kill to have someone with a connection to the crowd like that. That isn't, Roman Reigns.
exactly. You hit the head.
But like
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Like Triple H and creative and NXT. I'm gonna just start saying NXT. NXT built these guys up, and they're ready to be put on the launching pad to be the next big stars and take
mhm.
WWE to the next level. But when they get called up, like you said, Vince strips away everything about them away from them. There's nothing about them left in their character. Then he
Exactly.
then he places his shitty ideas on what he thinks will get over. He puts it on them, and then when it's not selling, like we said, it says they're not a draw. It's not. They're not a draw. People don't like your ideas, old man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not that they're not a draw; it's that you don't know how to fucking book anymore.
hey,
Uh,
yeah,
so
your crew. Shit.
yeah, it's wrestling has definitely shifted a lot from the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression eras. Um, it's a lot different now. But like what he sees in a star isn't what makes a star nowadays. I think
You're right.
people back then, like, let's say for example, and I don't ever want to. I hate that it's gonna seem like I'm speaking ill of the dead here, and that's not my intention. But I feel like I have to make this point. You've seen Dark Side of the Ring, right?
Yeah, good
And
show.
so you've seen the one about Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
Like how, and a lot of people would say that like he wasn't a very talented guy. Like he wasn't a talented wrestler. Like especially people like Jim Cornette and everything. There's a lot of people that would say that he's not a talented wrestler, and a lot of people would probably agree with that. Um, but if you watch that, the reason he was pushed to the moon so hard was because like he fit a mold. It was just like this big fucking burly dude who it was like you could plug and play. It's just like Vince has this fucking weird stiffy for guys that are blown up like hot air balloon, looking like a Michelin man.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's got a Michelin man throne in his house at some point. Like the fucking and jokes aside, like he got pushed to the moon because a lot of people saw he fit a mold. It never was anything about the talent. That's not how it is anymore. Like we don't care about how people look. Like fucking Kevin Owens is one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's got a beer belly.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Owens.
Right.
I got a beer belly too. Motherfucker's got a beer belly.
Keith
Fucking
Lee.
keep
Keith Lee's not built like no Adonis, but holy hell, can he wrestle?
exactly right. You got a couple people in there that are built like Greek gods and chiseled out of stone, but not everybody is. You know what I mean? Like people like I mean, like you said, Keith Lee. You got fucking all the small guys. Like, you could throw Dominic Mysterio in there. Now, this is like a rising star who does not fit that mold. It
Uh,
doesn't fit that mold.
what's
And
his name?
and even like recently with this whole NXT revamp thing, they tried to like get a lot of people out that didn't fit that fucking mold and brought in people like Braun Breaker, Von Wagner. You look at people like Joe Gacy and Harland and all these guys. I could keep going. What is the redneck tag team? I can't. The Brooks and I I don't know the name. I was thinking of that fucking country group. Uh, Brooks Jensen or whatever the fuck, like Garth. I don't know. I'm thinking Garth Brooks. Fuck. but these dudes that are big, young, and burly, it fits a mold. Like this
Oh
mold
yeah.
doesn't exactly work anymore. Like Adam Cole is fucking like as tall as me. I'm like 5'9". Fucking he, you know what I mean? Like he's as tall as me, one of the best wrestlers in the world. AJ Styles does not fit that mold. Fucking Rey Mysterio doesn't fit that mold. Um,
No.
there's so many people now that don't fit that mold. We care
Oh goodness.
nowadays about it. It doesn't matter about how people look. We care about
Whistle.
professional wrestling.
Exactly.
Professional
And
wrestling is.
and it's aggravating because this is Vince has a history with this. Like
Mhm.
a perfect example, and I'm giving this example for those people who are like, oh, Ultimate Warrior's just one example. Give me another one. Ryback.
Oh.
Ryback was so shitty. When CM Punk was still with WWE, he complained so much about Ryback because Ryback was constantly injuring him. Ryback was so unsafe when he wrestled him.
Mhm.
Like, and this wasn't just CM Punk. Just CM Punk was just the top star at the time. That's why I'm using that example. Like, everybody was like, "He's hurting me,"
Yes.
and Vince kept trying to push him because he had that look.
Yep. Yep.
They
Hell, I
like,
mean, you could probably even go as far as to throw Roman's name into that. Like whenever he
Exactly.
came up, like he was green as grass. You know what I mean? Like he probably was. I'm not gonna say he was unsafe in the ring, but he probably wasn't the best talent. But they were pushing him to the moon, similar in a way, and he definitely fit that mold. And he had family backing. So
Oh,
that was a huge fucking clusterfuck
oh
wrapped
yeah.
in a fucking shell. But at least Roman was able to turn that around. Like,
You're right.
like Ryback, his
Like,
whole thing was like, fucking feed me more.
yum yum yum
Ah!
yum.
And fucking, I'm gonna treat these people like a shish kebab. I don't like whatever the fuck he eats. I don't
I
know.
oh yum 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 yum.
It's like he went from fucking going feed me more on WWE TV to making mukbang videos on YouTube. Like,
Nah, just like
like, bruh, I'm fucking, I can't, bruh, I can't. This
I,
motherfucker, he,
I
he,
it.
he would,
And you know what?
he making mukbangs. It's fucking, god damn it, dude, I can't. I fucking, I can't. This is the people that he pushes.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell if I'm laughing or crying. I fucking, I can't tell. I've
Like
gone
you
manic.
gotta
I've
remember,
completely gone manic.
like,
This is a fucking
like
crisis. Fucking
anybody that tells me Vince hasn't lost it, they haven't been watching the last year and a half, 2 years. Like
oh
I
my
could go
god.
further back than that, but we'll just use the last 2 years. This is the same motherfucker that thought it was a good idea for Otis to win money. in the Bank.
Ooh,
Like
that should have been Aleister Black's year.
that shit.
Instead, he got thrown off a
Everybody
fucking
wanted,
roof. Oh,
everybody wanted it. Everybody was letting it known that's what they wanted. What does Vince do? Oh, I'm gonna give it to Otis. Like
like for
Otis
what?
shouldn't. Like no offense to Otis, but Otis shouldn't have even been in that match.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, it just it was never gonna work, was it? Like,
No.
just the way his character was, and like trying to separate him from Tucker and everything. Like, it was just a fucking disaster. Like, that whole situation was bad. Fuck, they had him carry around the briefcase. He used it as a lunchbox and put fucking sausages in it. Fucking like like Money in the Bank. Like fuck, it's a world title opportunity.
Oh yeah.
The motherfucker was using it as a lunchbox. I fucking
Oh
can't.
yeah.
I can't, dude. I can't, dude.
I,
They really had this motherfucker out here. He put the contract in a lunchbox and then stuffed the briefcase full of meat, bro.
that's not even the worst
No,
of it.
dude.
Like let's
That's not a world champion, bro.
yeah.
That's
Let's
not a
talk about it.
fucking
Like
world champion.
oh yeah.
I
Like
love Otis. Don't get me wrong. He was hilarious, bro. But that's not a fucking world champion. Are you shitting me, dude? Are you fucking
oh,
shitting
and,
me? Oh my god.
and you know what? And
Really?
that's not
Oh
like
no.
that's just one of many. But here's another one. One that's recent. Why the hell did
Oh
y'all do
no.
the whole King Nakamura thing if you were planning to be King of the Ring? Like what was the point of that?
I'm
You
fucking
switched the
dead.
crown over
I
to
can't. I
Shinsuke
can't. I'm gonna die.
to get Shinsuke over just to do the tournament, and now he's just Shinsuke
Yeah,
again.
the whole explanation they gave for him, he literally just gave it up. He just handed the bitch over. Yeah, I respect the
Like,
tournament, mother. You're supposed to be a king, motherfucker. God damn it. Fuck.
like,
God fucking damn it, dude. I fucking lost it completely. I've gone manic over this shit. I swear.
I just,
Fuck.
I,
They did. They literally. Okay, you want to talk? Let's snowball off of that for a second. So let's talk about what happened with Baron Corbin.
no, yes, let's
He went
go.
through this whole storyline, bro. Bro, they took they took the crown off his head. He was a huge dickhead or whatever. Fucking went through this awful phase in his life where he was just begging anybody for $100,000 that would fucking listening to him, bro. He wins at the casinos in Vegas and SummerSlam, bro. You wanna know what they do? They bring him back out in a suit and a top hat and fucking gave him the same gimmick just without the king name, bro. And now he has a sidekick who wears suspenders and cracks shitty jokes, dude.
I'm telling you,
I'm gonna fucking. Never, I can't say that. I'm not. I'm so glad I caught myself. I almost said something really bad. I would have had to edit out. I, I'm so. I, I can't
I,
breathe. I'm fucking. Whew.
I know, and you know what?
Oh my
You
god.
you you want to know what's worse than that
Whew.
is,
Okay.
and I really wanted to talk about this, is the fucking excuses I heard. I've seen from several sources now. It
Yeah.
it may, I will say it didn't come directly from WWE, quote unquote, but I this is shit that Vince has said in the past, and it's well known that Vince does shit like this. The excuses for at least this latest batch of people,
Right.
the the reason that who calm down, Raymond. The reason that all these people were fired was either due to age, huh, or
Age.
fucking
Age.
being unvaccinated. What?
What? Fucking what,
Listen,
dude? Oh no, dude. Oh
listen, listen. We've talked about this before. Nia
oh.
Jax has proven to be an unsafe worker, but
Yes.
not her injuring Kyrie Sane or Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair, like
Him and
not getting into a fist fight with Charlotte in the middle of the ring. Oh, you don't fire her for none of that. She doesn't get vaccinated. Like, this is her personal choice. Whether you're pro vaccination or you're anti vaccination, it's your choice.
it is
Like,
your choice, yeah.
but by the way, even if you get the vaccine, you can still catch coronavirus. I want this to be known. So there's no excuses that,
The
oh,
virus
she
is
could have gave
mutating,
somebody the
y'all.
virus.
The virus is
But
mutating,
like,
guys, because nobody wants to fucking wear a mask and be safe. Fuck.
exactly. Like,
Especially here in the dip spitting south. I'm fucking over it, dude. I fucking want to
I,
get out of here. Fucking,
so,
in the fucking dip spitting sister fucking capital of the United States. Fucking nobody wants to wear a mask. We can't fucking
like,
live our lives because these dipshit people think that they're getting injected with the fucking GPS tracker. Bro, you carry around in your pocket every single fucking day. If they wanted to track you for anything, if your life was that important, they'd fucking do it. Just go get the fucking
like,
shot, you retards. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
oh, oh yeah. And,
I'd be
like,
pissed about that one, bro. Like, do whatever you
like,
want, but holy fucking shit! Like, at least have like
like,
some intelligent argument to not get to do
exactly.
something. Like, oh, they gonna fucking put the GPS in me. I ain't gonna be no. They taking my free will, hey, motherfucker. They take your free will every day. Yeah. But you got the free will to go do anything you want, motherfucker. Nah, you going to work. You got to go to Lowe's, sell a lawnmower or two, go home, drink some Miller Lights, yell at your children, and fucking go to bed.
You-
Your life's not
So,
important. They're not gonna track. Why would they track some random meth mouth dip spitting retard from Alabama? I'm
oh
sorry.
yeah.
I
Like,
can't. I'm fucking losing it,
it's it gets me because this is their personal choice.
dude. And yet,
Because
they're
you don't like
getting
their
fired.
personal choice. Not a choice
They're
that
not.
harms anybody, not a negative choice, not like they went out there and touched somebody inappropriately or nothing like that. No,
Fucking.
they just they don't trust the vaccine, so they didn't get it.
You
So
know what
you
they?
fired.
You know what they do in the NBA for people that aren't vaccinated right now?
Uh,
So there's no fines or anything that are going out that I'm aware of. The only thing that they do, they don't have any risk of losing their job or anything, but can't travel with the team. They gotta take fucking COVID tests every day before a game, before like practices and stuff. But they don't have any like risk of losing their job. There's like extra steps. Like fuck, like oh Nia Jax doesn't
It's
want to get the
simple.
vaccine. Have her travel with someone else who's unvaccinated or something, maybe, or by herself, or I don't, have her travel separate from other people, have her take the test, have her do the extra steps. If it's that big of a deal, no, fuck it. He was like, nah,
Simple.
nah, fuck it. I don't give. That's great. Okay, so
Oh,
I didn't even we didn't even mention this. Out of all the egregious fucking shit that Nia Jax has done over the past fucking 5 years of her career, not getting a shot was the one that fucking axed her, bro. I'm dead. I'm fucking so dead. She literally fucking bounced Kyrie Sane off the turnbuckle like a bowling ball. Like
oh,
no, like a basketball. Sorry, bounced her head off the split her open. Fucking Molly whopped the shit out of Charlotte Flair, the Golden Child, on live TV.
oh yeah.
Fucking caved Becky Lynch's face in. Who was the Golden Child at the time? Missed the
But,
Survivor
but,
Series because of this shit.
but yeah, all that shit.
But she
But,
didn't get a shot. That was
but,
it.
she, but she don't get a shot. And, oh, that's a deal breaker. And there's
I'm sorry.
four of the
I
like
can't
like
stop.
four of the people, including Naya, or maybe four other people, including Naya, um, have been let go. I don't know the names of the other ones. The only one that the source specifically gave was Naya was released because of that.
Right. I.
But the
That's
second
wild.
reason
But for
they release
age,
people,
age, hell, you
eh,
were WWE. I'm a lot of things in this world, and some people may call me stupid, but you're not fuck. You're not gonna pass this with age.
age,
You fucking talk. We talk. I'm gonna pull Allen Iverson. Just like we ain't here to talk about age.
age,
Let's talk about practice. We
and
ain't here to talk
before
about age. Fucking this, like they don't bring Goldberg back every quarter.
exactly,
Edge is,
and before
like you said, Edge is 48.
yeah, like this is nothing against Edge. Edge is an excellent wrestler. His matches with Randy and Seth since he's been back proves that he's an extremely talented wrestler. But
Yes.
he's damn near 50. So don't you
Yes.
give me that age thing. And like I told you yesterday, Shawn Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels 1 and 2. Undertaker was in his 40s. Undertaker versus Triple H the second and third time at WrestleMania. Undertaker was in his 40s going on 50.
Yeah.
Undertaker was 50 plus when he went against Roman Reigns and AJ Styles. Like, and especially with those last two, Undertaker was past his prime,
Way,
and
way past it.
you didn't let him go. Like,
And he tried.
but he tried. He like,
He's
and
like,
like, I think for the people that are going to try and come at us and be like, oh, but blah 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 blah. Age does matter. Batista, one arguably next to John Cena, the biggest star of the ruthless aggression era.
oh my god, yeah.
He was 35 when he got started.
Yeah.
The age of most of these people that are getting fired or are getting released
Telling you it doesn't fucking
because of
matter.
their age are a little younger or just a year older than Batista was when Batista got his start. So don't give me that bullshit about age.
Well, they were kind of old. It's like, yeah, you're getting gaslighted by Vince McMahon. Like,
Yeah,
this is
like
not. You're not. This is not
get like
age. We talk about
age,
age.
like,
We talk about age. Well, fucking
but he
no,
keeps
bro.
bringing the crippler out there. Like you said, he keeps bringing the crippler. I mean Goldberg.
Just called him the crippler.
Yeah, because he cripples other people and himself.
had like a permanent dent in his forehead from banging that door.
Not from headbutting doors and missing spears and headbutting the post.
He's probably got a
Like,
permanent fucking streak mark of Undertaker's neck on his fucking bicep when he damn near
exactly.
killed him.
Like, you're a parent, like, your golden boy, The Undertaker, your favorite of favorites. Goldberg almost killed him, and you still bring Goldberg's old ass out there. So don't you give me shit about age. Nobody wants to see Goldberg.
And
Goldberg
then
gets
we'll circle it
thumbs.
back, and then Vince would be like, "Well, Goldberg's a draw, not Keith Lee." It's like, well, Goldberg doesn't follow a fucking script.
Not just, not just he doesn't follow a script. You give Goldberg the time of day.
Yeah, not true. Yeah, he gets more. He's gotten more screen time than Keith Lee in the last 2 years.
Exactly.
How? How's this? Oh my god.
How is somebody not a draw when you don't give them the time of day?
Like,
Like all these people, you say they're not draws. Oh, they're not. It's not they're not draws. It's when they first came through, you denied them. Triple H gave them a chance. Triple H proved to you that they can be draws, and you're pissed off about it. You're pissed off that you were wrong when they first came through your doors.
and now, fucking, you're literally just on a silver platter, giving these great talents over to AEW and Impact and other promotions and New Japan.
Oh yes.
Fucking,
Oh yes.
uh,
Tony.
and the every time that they do this, every time that they do this, those other companies just get a little bit better, just a little
Oh
bit
yeah.
better,
Tony
just a
Khan tweeted
little bit better.
he's already got people that from this latest set of releases, he's already got people that he wants.
Of course.
I imagine Keith Lee, Karrion Cross. I'm gonna call her by her the name she wants to go by, Taya Valkyrie. I,
Yep.
I imagine he would want her because she's the top tier talent.
Ember
She was
Moon.
over as hell before she went to WWE. People were excited when she went to WWE. Like
Yeah,
there's a hint.
I definitely see Keith Lee showing up somewhere, Karrion Cross and Scarlett showing up somewhere. Taya Valkyrie, like you said, I could see like someone like Jesse Kamea maybe going to Impact.
Yep,
Mia Yim could go back to Impact. I think she would be
yep.
a hell of an addition to the AEW Women's Division, though. Um,
I agree.
fucking, I mean, you go through. Bobby Fish has made his way into AEW now. Bronson Reed's still out there. Mercedes Martinez went to Impact. I saw that. Um, hell, Leon Ruff, Tyler Rust, Bray Wyatt. We're still waiting on where he's gonna show
Uh,
up at. Um, fucking, like a lot of these other guys have like done like some other things like across like other indie promotions and AEW Dark and stuff like that. Um,
exactly.
Ever Rises over they're what 2.0 now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Braun did that thing with EC3, which was pretty interesting. Um, I don't think he's shown up in a promotion yet, though. Aleister Black's killing it over in AEW. I think Buddy
Oh,
Murphy said he was going to New Japan. Um, Lana,
fuck.
I mean, she could come come be by the side of Miro at any point. Um,
Oh yeah.
Ruby Riot
That's another one.
killed it
Since
over
he
in
got
AEW.
released, is killing it.
Fucking Ruby Riot's over there killing it right now in AEW. Andrade's doing good things. Um, Samoa Joe, they fucking released him. He got brought back within a couple weeks. They made him NXT champion. Now he's gone again. I just, I just
Honestly,
Mickey James,
I
bro.
know I
Mickey
know
James.
that they said Samoa Joe is injured, but I don't believe it.
It
He may
def
be legitimately injured. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I don't believe it. I
it
think when Vince took over, Vince didn't want Samoa Joe as champion, so he made up that bullshit excuse. I said
yeah. No,
it.
it just it feels so fucking weird, man. Like
Yeah, like
it doesn't make sense why that had to happen. So,
oh yeah, like
yeah, I don't
the
get it.
last time he was injured because he he was doing that commercial and hit his head on the table and got a concussion, right?
Right.
What is he injured for this time?
Yeah, there's not really like an injury report, is there?
It exactly like what happened? You know, like they in the past, WWE has been very open and uh clear about what's going on with their superstars.
Right.
Like Bailey's right now with that leg injury.
I believe they said that was an
People,
ACL. Which
yeah,
is,
like
I mean, I've torn my ACL. That's a serious injury. So, fucking,
exactly like when Paige had concussion problems. Like
Sasha Banks fucking brittled her spine. Like,
yeah, like bad.
yeah,
Like they've always been open about how these people are injured and what they're doing, their recovery. For one, they haven't said anything about what's wrong with Samoa Joe.
right.
Or two, they haven't given any updates about Samoa Joe. Like,
Yeah, I
oh,
haven't
I'm
heard anything
injured.
from him. Right.
Exactly. Oh, I'm injured. Drops off the face of the planet.
I'm surprised his name
Like,
wasn't on this list again this year.
I, honestly, you know what?
Fucking hell.
I'm starting to look at the big names. I wouldn't be surprised to see Finn Balor on the list soon.
Hmm.
Like
Prince Devitt is all
Triple H,
elite.
I exactly. I've seen Triple H build him and Triple H build himself up twice and vent shit all over him.
Literally
Like
fed the demon to Roman.
I exact and you know what's sad? Like he steps away from the demon persona, builds up the Prince persona. Vince says, "Fuck the Prince persona. You're going back to the demon," and then feeds the demon to Roman.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, we were talking about the shitty creative that Vince has had the last few years. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. In those corny
Fucking
sweatsuits and the weird beard, let's talk about it.
fucking exploding ropes. That's how the demon loses for
Yeah.
the first time. The ropes explode.
I don't think we ever actually got an actual explanation as to why that happened either. I think it
Nope, the
just is
ropes just
something that they
explode.
did. Is the motherfucker literally hit coup de grace earlier in the match. He hulks up his demon, gets back on the ropes. Is he supposed to have enough power in his legs now to fucking disintegrate a whole wrestling ring? Are you
Is it?
fucking my dick? you fucking...
The ropes explode and he loses.
What a fucking cock in the ass.
Anybody that's, you know what? And I'm coming at you people again, the ones that are gonna have negative shit to say about him. Well, that's just one example. Okay, Hell in a Cell, Seth Rollins, Bray
Oh
Wyatt.
no. Don't do it to
The
him,
Hell in a
please. No,
Cell
it's
that
okay.
ended
It's
in
okay. They got families, bro. They got families. Nah, I'm just kidding. Gotta get off the leash, bro.
like the Hell in a like. Do you? For those arguing against our point, like, have you ever seen a Hell in a Cell match? Did you see what Undertaker?
It's like, remember whenever Rikishi got choke slammed off a Hell in a Cell through a fucking, what
You know what I'm
was it, a
saying?
hay truck or whatever the fuck? It was like a wheat truck.
Yeah, like
You mean to fucking tell me that Undertaker can throw Mick Foley off
all
of Hell in a
fairly
Cell
true.
through an announcer's table? But fucking Bray Wyatt gets hit with a toolbox while wearing his fucking suit of chairs. And oh god. Oh my fucking god. We can't.
Oh yeah, like,
We can't
and for
let this
people
go on. Fucking not the toolbox. Not the fucking
and for
tool.
people, those people are like, oh, he just threw Mick Foley to the side. Seth Rollins hit Bray Wyatt with the sledgehammer. Mick Foley fell 20 feet onto his fucking head, climbed his ass back up there, and got close to him through fell 20 feet again.
Yeah.
Then he got beat with a chair, stairs, got choke slammed on tacks,
Yeah, the tax. The
and the ref didn't stop the match
tax.
until other people were done with him. But you're telling
It wasn't enough. If it wasn't enough, you had JR at the time sitting ringside going, "They literally fucking killed him." They fucking
that, like,
But God knows if Seth Rollins grabs the toolbox,
yeah, Seth Rollins hits
not
a
the.
toolbox with a sledgehammer. Oh, nope, that's too much.
And he just had a bunch of chairs piled on top of him. Just looked like a fucking plate of loaded nachos sitting in the middle of the ring, bro. It just,
Oh,
but not the guacamole.
like,
Not the. If we said no guacamole.
like,
Oh.
you watch any Hell in a Cell match pre what,
Oh.
2008? These people
Bro.
were killing each other.
Oh my god. Ooh.
Like, there's no rule. That's the whole point of Hell in a Cell. There's no rules. There's no mercy. There's no remorse. Like, that's the whole. It's the whole point of Hell in a Cell.
Fuck, if Shawn Michaels didn't have some semblance of honor and counted to three, they'd fucking still be in Hell in a Cell trying to kill The Undertaker right now.
Exactly.
If Shawn Michaels decided to not have some sort of soul, they'd still be in there stomping a mud hole in his ass. Oh no. Uh,
Like, so anybody that tells me, what is Vince McMahon, WWE this and W, you need to quit riding Vince McMahon's dick
Honestly, I think you
and
gotta
open
have
your
some sort
fucking
of
eyes.
healthy balance, man. Like it's good when it's good, but you can't fucking support them when they're doing shit like this. It's hard. It's so hard. Like you gotta you.
And that's the problem.
It's because like
You know?
I think now it's a lot easier to having like other options to go to that are actually kind of good. Back then,
Mm-hmm.
like if this shit was going on with no no AEW or Impact on the Rise, New Japan, anything that's making a name for themselves, this shit was going on like back like 10 years ago, fucking nobody would be talking about it. I think it would not be nearly as big of an issue because
No,
they would just continue to be like, all right, well that's the way it is, and the fucking cock ride Vince McMahon. It's like now like you get to wait on like the opportunities of seeing these people again. I don't know. I feel like now it's it's just so much worse. Everything sucks, dude. I
exactly.
can't.
And people,
Fucking sucks.
you gotta quit accepting this shit because,
Yeah.
you know, 10 years ago, it was WWE or die. If you didn't make it in WWE, well,
You're
too
probably
bad.
not going to at all.
Yeah.
So
But now there's
it's
options. There's AEW. Impact is back on the rise. There's New Japan. People are starting to really dig New
hell.
Japan, especially here in America. Like,
Even like deathmatch wrestling is on like a huge rise. So like GCW or whatever, Game Changer. Fuck him.
yeah,
Like I'm not the
like,
biggest fan of deathmatch wrestling, but it's on the rise, and we've had like people like Zack Ryder go through there, John Moxley, or I guess he's Matt
oh yeah,
Cardona now, but you know obviously Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, he was champion, so
oh yeah,
so they're
there's
going to all these
options now.
places. Yeah, yeah.
You do not have to accept Vince McMahon shit.
Oh,
Quit watching. I've
yeah,
never said this in my life to anybody, but quit watching. You quit watching, things will have to change.
yeah. I mean, at that point, he has no choice. From a I don't know. He probably just still looks at everything from like this weird business sense. Is like, oh well, the numbers are still pouring in. Like, of course, because people want to watch pro wrestling. Like, people want to watch the entertainment. They don't want to be bored out of their minds. They're tuning in with hope in their heart. Like, it's not like they're tuning in. Like, I know for me, like over the last couple months, like aside from like SmackDown or some NXTs, like whenever I go to like tune in Raw, like it is strictly with hope in my heart and a hand on my phone just in case. Uh, fuck it, it's not been good, and that's another. I don't think we really like touched on this too much, like like well, we did bring up like the rematches and stuff, but it's like you're getting rid of all these people that for budget regions or whatever, but the content's not getting any better. We're still getting all these rematches. It's like how many times have fucking Damian Priest and Sheamus fought this year? It's fucking even better. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. You literally axed one of your main superstars from the main event picture because y'all burned the shit out of this feud. Fucking carried it on for
Yep.
4 months until Bobby was like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you another shot. Fuck yeah, you ain't ever gonna come at me again." Like, what the fucking this,
Oh yeah, and it's
this,
not
this
that
fucking
Bobby's.
eBay IQ that they fucking have cultivated over in their creative department.
I, I think it's time for people to quit making excuses for Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
It
like
it is. Like I don't care if you're a diehard. I grew up on WWE. When it was WWE versus WCW, I was a WWE fan. I, but come on, man. When do you stop making excuses for him?
right. Like this is
Like
at
when
some
like
when does it end? Like
like you said, like when do you quit accepting his nonsense? Oh, they're too old. Oh, they are unvaccinated. Oh,
like
they're not a draw. Oh, this. Oh, that. Oh, they're not big enough. Oh, they don't have the right look. Oh, this. Vince, everything that you set as the standard or the mold you made that you think makes a superstar, it's a stereotype. It's not true anymore. Like you said, you look at people like Adam Cole, Finn Balor, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. Like you you look at all these people and none of them fit the Vince McMahon mold, but especially Adam Cole. You look at Adam Cole and how over he fucking is. You don't have to fit the Vince McMahon mold to be over.
yeah, it's
Finn
like
Balor is dearly beloved, dearly beloved. He doesn't fit the Vince McMahon mold.
Daniel Bryan nearly had to commit murder to get his fucking world title.
Exactly. Daniel Bryan nowhere near fits the Vince McMahon mold, but Daniel Bryan is arguably the best wrestler in the world and is over as all get out. Like,
Yeah, and they still can't fuck it. Like they still fucked him. Like
oh yeah,
they're still like up until the very end, they were like, okay, well, like we'll get like they really did not want to do it at all. They did not. Want to I think they were
yeah,
hoping that Triple H would kill him in that first match so that he didn't make it to the main event.
oh yeah.
Like Daniel Bryan's not gonna be able to compete. He fucking
It's
died in the middle of the.
like,
Welcome
and
to WrestleMania.
oh, Vince wanted Trips to hit him in the head with the sledgehammer for real.
just, just fucking Negan his ass one good time. That'll show him.
I,
That'll show him to get over in my company when I didn't want it. Fuck.
exactly. It's not that these people can't get over. It's Vince doesn't want them to get over.
Right.
Vince wants them to be a failure because Vince wants to be right about them. Vince wants them to be talentless hacks and no good, and Vince was right and Trips and everybody else was wrong. And only Vince McMahon knows what a superstar is. Only Vince McMahon, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, the only reason stars like Roman are bigger than people in AEW is because you have a bigger platform.
Right.
Honestly, like if AEW had been around as long as WWE has been around, I believe AEW would have overtaken WWE by now. I'm just gonna put it like that because if
I.
AEW
Yeah.
was producing the quality product that they have been now for the last 30, 40, 50 years, however many years,
Oh man, they'd be
and
destroying the market right now.
they control it. Like Vince would have been good through
Vince would be sucking
ruthless
applesauce out of a
aggression, early
straw.
PG era.
Vince would be sucking applesauce out of a straw in a nursing home somewhere, probably.
Exactly.
So yeah,
But you,
it's hard, man, because I feel, and this is not something that's they've always done releases, but it's never been. I don't think it's ever really been like this before. Over the like over the last 2 years, obviously they do releases, they do the budget cuts, whatever. People are gonna get released, especially in a company like that. But it's never really been like this, where like established players are constantly like getting released. 65 plus people in a year, and it's the year's not
oh,
even over. They didn't even start in January. They started in April. This is the fucking fourth month of the
April.
year. Fucking Christ. Holy shit, dude. I swear, like it seems like I don't know what his business strategy is here. I've never talked to Vince McMahon. I don't know, but it seems like he got his IQ off eBay.
Oh yeah, and like,
Like at this point, it's because he's just getting older now. He's just getting fucking senile. Is that what's going on? Like
and,
so many
oh, and
questions, not enough answers, man.
and I want to address this now. For anybody that is listening to this, like before you say we're just anti Vince McMahon, we're anti WWE, we're just anti blah blah blah. I love WWE. I love WWE with all my heart. WWE was one of the biggest parts of my childhood. I used to love to hear the gong of the Undertaker. I used to love to see Batista do his little machine gun fireworks when he came out there. I I used to love the bloody Hell in a Cells, the wars, the great storylines. That's why I'm so upset, because I know what Vince is capable of, but Vince just doesn't want to do it anymore. Vince wants to do what Vince wants. Vince wants to put out a product that Vince wants to watch. Nobody else but Vince McMahon. Vince has stopped caring about the fans. Vince cares about what Vince wants. Like,
Yeah,
like all the excuses about the people being unvaccinated or too old or they're not a draw or they have purple shoes or whatever the fuck he's mad at them about, or they're too small or they're skinny fat or they're fat or whatever fucking excuse he gives you. It's because it's what Vince wants. Vince is honestly probably the most selfish man in professional wrestling right now. He wants what Vince wants. Like, that's such good shit. You think that's a lie? Then how come all the things we loved about NXT, why did they get stripped away? Because Vince was noted not to like NXT. Like, this is before AEW was beating NXT in the ratings and all that shit. Vince didn't like NXT. He thought the guys were too small. He didn't think the matches were good. He didn't like the product. So Vince changed it. That's why NXT is what it is today. And I'm not saying that some of the dudes that Vince has picked aren't don't have potential and all that, but why strip down something that was working so well? One of the one positive things about your company, you changed it because you didn't like it. Like,
yeah,
man, it hurts because I love professional wrestling.
it's
I
crazy.
love it with all my like, and I know you do too, brother. Like, you love it with all your heart. We love professional wrestling, and it's heartbreaking to see Vince McMahon give us the middle finger and do what he wants. Like,
Like for me,
I don't
like
want to see Gold. Yeah, like, I don't want to see Goldberg no more. Vince doesn't care. Since 2016, people have been talking about they don't want to see Goldberg no more. Goldberg came back with that one match with Brock Lesnar, and it should have stopped there.
right,
No, nobody wanted it. Like,
should
when
have
you
never.
brought him back, people were like, "Okay, we don't need this no more. We got the one return. It was good. It should have ended there."
Like shit,
But now
KO
you
still
kind
hasn't fucking gained his momentum back because of Goldberg. Bray Wyatt never is never got it, but he was never gonna get that momentum back as the Fiend. Bray Wyatt,
of
fucking Goldberg has managed to fucking kill off some fucking major careers in pro wrestling. From Bray Wyatt all the way down to Bret Hart.
I, exactly. Ended Bret Hart, ended
Whew.
Bret Hart's career. Almost ended the Undertaker.
Almost into his
Wrecked
life,
Bray Wyatt's career.
right?
Fucking Dolph Ziggler was already kind of going downhill, but they fed Dolph Ziggler to Goldberg.
Kevin Owens is not in a good spot, and I'm expecting him to be in
No,
AEW by next year.
I hope Kevin Owens leaves. Kevin Owens is too talented to be on that shitty show that is Monday Night Raw.
There's definitely a lot of talent now. There's like I'm not advocating for anyone to lose their job, but if they were to get cut and go to Impact, it'd probably just be a lot better. Um,
Hmm.
left on their own volition, whatever it would.
I'm telling
KO,
you,
Sami Zayn, Finn Balor would just do so much better over in AEW. I just
I
see it.
agree.
Um, the way, and it's not even like I hear it's like, oh, well, AEW is just gonna like stockpiling all this talent. Like that's the problem, like with that you just had with WWE, right? It's like, yeah, the problem we have with WWE is that we get rehashed content with the same talent. You know, we're not getting a whole lot of new faces on our screen. Like the last like big name to come up, you know, I guess you could say is Damian Priest. Like he's like the fastest rising star in WWE right now. But everybody that
I,
comes up from NXT like has had that fucking kind of momentum with them. It's just that I guess for some reason Priest has McMahon's favor. So I guess he just has the mold. He fits the mold maybe. I don't know. But I don't get it. I don't get it.
I,
I don't get it. But
I,
the point with AEW is that we don't get like rehashed content, recycled content a lot from them. We have. I'm not saying we don't or we haven't ever, but it's not nearly as often. And even when it does happen, it's not nearly as bad. Like at least there's still like some storyline development, even if it's small, like, even if it's minuscule. So there's still some fucking development there, even if we do get some rehashed stuff. But the way that they manage their talent, especially across the two shows and how they weave in together, they've managed to make 3 hours of wrestling feel like like what is it, like 3 hours a week, and if you're not including Dark from AEW, because yeah,
yeah.
3 hours, fucking feel like it's much bigger, it's much larger
Oh yeah.
because they get so many faces on the screen, like they've mastered like fucking not everybody needs to be up there cutting a fucking 8 minute promo about what they're gonna do in their next match, right? I like for example, like Charlotte Flair has probably cut the same promo at least 6 times in one this you know what I mean? Like about like, oh, like I'm the champ, I'm the best, fucking, you know, this cash recycled. I'm not saying it's bad, but that's what it is. Fucking like you you get people on screen and they'll do like a string of 5 promos and it is short, quick, to the point, next one. Fucking didn't need to be anything too crazy, but their face was on the screen there and there's still some development. So their characters going in a positive direction, their feuds are going in a positive direction, and their brand. So everything that I've seen from them has been like a master class in booking and promoting. Um,
Hmm.
and it's the fact that too, like also like how do you not visibly see them as a threat? And I think the difference is you can't see someone as a threat that's not in the same market as you. They're a pro wrestling company. You're an entertainment company. So I guess maybe that's it. Is like they're not in this. Maybe they're not the same thing. If you watch them, obviously not. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you're much more inclined to watch AEW. I will say that. I probably I'm not gonna say that there isn't, because there probably is some weird fucking mark out there that thinks that WWE is the best pro wrestling company in the world, and you would have the IQ of the couple applesauce that I ate on lunch. Fucking it was like pro wrestling exists in AEW, entertainment exists in WWE, and that's a known thing. I mean, it's literally in their name, but you're getting your ass waxed by this other company who you don't see as a threat because they've managed to make pro wrestling entertaining, not in not tried. They managed to make pro wrestling entertaining while not trying to um, entertain with pro wrestling, if that makes sense.
I agree.
So Vince is stuck in this weird thing of trying to entertain with pro wrestling, and it's not really smacking. It's not really hitting. Like
No,
it don't
no,
hit like the young kids say. AEW does.
I
It's a
agree.
night and day difference, and
And
I think if you're still fucking riding WWE's dick at this point, and if you haven't given AEW a chance at this point, then you're not a pro wrestling fan. You
I
don't care
agree.
about the art of pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, and you know what? For anybody that tells me, "Oh, Vince does pro wrestling better," no, he doesn't. When's the last time? And before y'all say Big E winning the championship, that wasn't a good match. It was a great moment because Big E deserved to win the title, but it wasn't a great match. When's the last time on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown that Vince McMahon gave you a match like Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryanson on TV?
Right.
AEW does that shit every week.
The only
Maybe
whenever you said that, I thought about it, and literally the first match I thought of was actually Roman versus Daniel Bryan, the one that sent him away. That was a
they,
really good match, but that doesn't.
yep.
It's not something that happens week in week out. You know what I mean? Like fucking the pro wrestling on NXT is better than on Monday Night Raw.
Hmm.
It's like NXT is probably the most comparable thing that they have to AEW. Um, since so I mean I just sidetracking, but fucking yeah, man, this is definitely gone on too long. And it's hard to keep. It's got to be hard for anyone to keep defending them, really.
I agree.
But yeah, it's like we're not getting quality matches week in week out. They're not. For some reason, they're. And it's speaking of, whenever we do finally get a match that we've been wanting for so long, we love to see it. A surprise roll up, count out finish, disqualification, interference, distraction, fucking all these other like. Shit, we didn't even get into that. We didn't even talk about all that. Oh, it's like whenever we finally get these matches that we want, bro, someone's always got to run interference. They can never do it clean. It's just like what the fuck, bro? Like
Oh yeah.
make a clean like bro, one of the best matches of the year, Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson didn't have a fucking finish. They fucking they went on time. They literally just went down there and beat the shit out of each other for 30 minutes. Right? One of
Yep.
the best fucking matches of the year. Didn't have a finish. You're telling me
Nope.
that AEW can put on a match that doesn't that has a fucking time limit finish and is exponentially better than everything that you've done this year?
Hmm.
Are you shitting
But
my dick? Are you
it's
fucking
because Vince still believes the surprise roll up surprise is still good shit.
Yeah, it's not. It never was.
Mm-mm. The
It's
shit worked at
used.
WrestleMania
It should
3
be
for Ricky
used
Steamboat.
sparingly. It should be used sparingly, you know? Like or like whenever the Hurricane rolled up the Rock and pinned him and surprised him, like that was a cool moment, you know, because nobody expected that to happen. Now, like you go into a match and you're like, "Where's the roll up?" It's even a
Yeah,
part. It's
exactly.
like whenever they're like flowing through like a middle of the. It's like it's so prevalent in everything that everybody does now. It's like
You just wait for it.
you just wait
Like
for it. It's like on
as
the
soon
level of super kicks. Like you
exactly
know you're
like
gonna
as
see
soon
them.
as Monday Night Raw starts, you're just like, okay, I'm waiting for the surprise roll up to happen on this show.
Right.
You don't know which match. You don't know which superstar is gonna do it.
Hell, it
Um,
could be all of them.
it could be all of them. You don't know which ones are gonna do it,
Raw's like
but
a box of chocolates. You don't know what the fuck you're gonna
like
get. Okay.
And like, it's just Vince is. I honestly believe the man has lost his mind.
I
Like,
believe it.
I just, like, okay, what was wrong with the name Piper Niven? Nothing. Why the fuck did you name that girl Dewdrop?
I've come to the conclusion. I think I got it. I know exactly why Dewdrop was named Dewdrop, and she's no longer Piper Niven. Now, hear me out. This might be a bit of a stretch, okay? But I think her name's Piper Niven. We already had someone
Mhm.
named Roddy Piper. I think the fans had to have gotten confused. Like they obviously will have gotten confused because no one person can have a similar fucking name in WWE. Bro, they wanted to change Adam Cole's name because they they thought the fans would think he's Michael Cole's son.
Like,
Let's put that in perspective. This is what this fucking company thinks about your intelligence, bro.
and not just that. Like, what happened to
You
two
gotta,
names?
you,
What's
they
wrong?
think you got a fucking
Like,
high school diploma off of Microsoft Paint.
not yeah. And you know what happened? What's wrong with people having a first and last name? Why the fuck does Vince
Yeah,
take everybody's name away? Like Matt. What was wrong with Matt Riddle? What was wrong with that?
it's literally
Why'd you
his
have to shorten it to Riddle?
it's literally his real name.
This is his real name. There's nothing wrong
He's a
with
sneeze away from being the Riddler.
it. I know. Like,
Fucking Andrade Cien Almas is a cool name. Andrade on a standalone is pretty cool too, but Andrade Cien Almas is even better. Buddy Murphy. Why just call him Murphy?
I, 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 I don't even have the words. Like, and I know there's probably gonna be some hate coming our way, but I don't care. Like,
Fucking
you're
yeah.
gonna stop. I'm gonna make you face that shit today. You're not gonna keep coming at me with that bullshit, them bullshit excuses about Vince McMahon and the WWE. No,
Right. Yeah.
the man is completely insane.
So
Like, no,
yeah.
let's go to Braun Strowman for example. What was wrong with Braun Strowman? He had the look, like
He had the
he had
backing.
the exact. I mean, when he first came in, he was green as grass, but he improved so much in his short time in WWE. What happened to him? What
Ah.
what
Ah.
why'd you release him? He had everything
Ah.
you wanted. He got himself over, even though he was disliked at first because you tried to shove him down people's throat. He changed himself up, toned himself up, got a better look, got himself over, and what do? You let him go. I don't. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna quit giving me these excuses. Oh, he didn't have the right look. Oh, he's too old. Oh, he's like everybody listening that's gonna try and come in with it. No,
Right.
it's Vince does what Vince likes, and I'm tired of hearing you complain about how Monday Night Raw isn't like it was in his glorious days. Well, quit tuning in. Quit making excuses.
Right.
Like Vince isn't gonna change until I think you hit him where it hurts in the wallet.
Yeah.
Vince isn't gonna listen to your
That.
cheers or your boos because as he's proven, especially since the pandemic has come around, that that he doesn't mind piping in sound.
Oh yeah. How
Like
many times did we hear them like try to do it and they fucking goofed it? Like I think it was probably like Drew McIntyre or something coming down the ring. They were playing fucking a Ric Flair cheer from like WrestleMania 24, talking about you're in the background, 17-time world champion. Like, what? 16. Fuck. You hear this shit in the background. They go, world champion, world champion. I was like, motherfucker. Drew McIntyre's got a sword. He ain't got a title.
Exactly.
You ain't got no time.
Or how Goldberg would start to come out there and the boos would start, but all of a sudden the people went from booing to wait a minute.
How everything would go from we want Wyatt to fucking, you know, odd silencer, some
E-
cheers. Yeah,
Exactly. Like
I just fuck like
I don't get it. Like, let's talk about Bray Wyatt. We've kind of been I wouldn't say avoiding him, but we've been beating around the bush. Bray Wyatt is arguably the most creative mind in wrestling in the last 10 years.
without a doubt, without a
Like,
doubt in my mind.
like, like every time that Vince has tried to shit on him or push him into the dirt or anything like that, he's always found a way to reinvent himself and get himself over again.
Hmm?
You know, especially with the Fiend. Like the Fiend was so creative. Like to go from the the cult leader that he was to the character that the Fiend was, like it was a total departure from one character to the next. The only thing that they had in common was they were both psychos. Like
Hmm.
that's it. But it was a total departure from what he was doing. Like
Right.
I, and Vince got rid of him, and this pisses me off because I've seen a lot of reports on it lately. It's because Vince didn't like him. Vince didn't think that he should get over. Vince didn't think he should be popular. Vince didn't think he should be a good wrestler. Vince didn't think he should be as creative as he is. So Vince got rid of him. Vince took everything that I'm gonna start calling him by his real name, Wyndham, because I'm assuming that's what he's gonna go by whenever he shows up wherever he shows up, because that's what he's changed his name to on Twitter and stuff. Um, he has proven that he is so creative, and he's not a terrible wrestler either. When
Mm-mm.
you let him do his own thing, like he can do good because
He's great in the ring, and he has amazing character work. What the fuck more could you want? And he's got
I,
the fucking crowd behind him. But you know,
exactly,
crowd reactions don't matter to Vince apparently.
exactly.
Because
His
if he just took one of those earmuffs off while he was in Gorilla and just fucking paid attention to all these people that are getting cheered and just so much love. If just give them, just let them fucking sail on in that momentum. You know what I mean? Fucking let them do their thing. Like
oh yeah, and like
like Liv fucking Morgan for an example. That's the one that I talk about a lot. The one this year who definitely 100% should have won Women's Money in the Bank had everyone and their mom behind her and fucking cut the fucking promo right there on the stage at SmackDown where everyone is chanting that she deserves it and everybody wanted to see her win and they gave it to Nikki ASH just to fucking get a cheap cash in victory over Charlotte for her to lose it at SummerSlam a month later to her.
exactly, it, fucking exactly.
And don't get me
Right,
wrong, I love Nikki Cross or ASA whatever she's great, but Liv deserved that one. That was 100% her moment. There was because and like and I'm not saying this like someone's probably gonna say, oh, you're simping for it. It's like name another person in that match that had as much momentum going into it as Liv Morgan.
you can't.
You're not gonna tell me that Nikki with her three roll up victories in a fucking 2 minute time limit matches and all that shit fucking like that she had solid momentum whenever fucking Liv was putting on pretty good matches for a decent length of time and was beating people like Carmella and Zelina Vega and just getting this momentum.
Exactly. Like it makes like
Ridiculous.
do do the people that defend Vince in the WWE, like do they not question why the people their favorites aren't getting title shots while their favorites are getting released even though them and everybody they know loves those characters
Mhm.
or those people. Like it's because Vince doesn't care.
Like,
Like
God, if he cared about what the fans think, Cesaro would be a multi-time world champion by now.
ex- exactly. Like
Cesaro would have had many a moment. I'm surprised his
I
name isn't on this fucking list.
actually,
How
you
much they
know,
don't use him, like fucking shit. Like he's still like, oh god, he had so much going for it. Literally, Daniel Bryan tried to put him over on the way out. They gave him one world title match. That was great. Top 10 this year for sure. 100%, arguably top 5. Fucking gave him that and was like, hope you're full.
mm,
Like,
yep.
like gave him crumbs of a whole saltine. You know what I mean? Like, it's so ridiculous. And
You
like,
know
don't get me
what?
wrong, I love Roman. And do I think Cesaro should have won that match? It's debatable for me. It's like 60-40. But um,
I just thought about something, and it could just be a
Cesaro should be the
theory.
world champion. Yeah.
Yes, but I just had an idea, and people can say it's bull crap because it's just something that I came up with or whatever. But you know what?
Hmm.
I don't think another indie darling since Daniel Bryan, maybe with the exclusion of AJ Styles, has been able to become the top dog. And I think Daniel Bryan is the reason. And it's not Daniel Bryan's fault or anything like that. Don't take it that way. But think about it. Vince didn't want Daniel Bryan to be big. Vince
Right.
and the fans, or Daniel Bryan and the fans, made Daniel Bryan big. And Vince had no say in it. I think
It was
Vince is
too.
taking that option away before they can do it. Like, think about
Yeah,
it.
that's a good point because he is at that point. Whenever it happened, he wasn't in control. Like his hand was being forced because if they didn't do it, fucking, like the riots that would have ensued if Daniel Bryan didn't win that championship that night. Like
Exactly.
he actually might have gotten killed. I don't ever wish death upon anybody, and that's not what I'm doing here. But wrestling fans can be a little fucking crazy, okay? Like,
Oh, yes.
like if he didn't put the straps onto Bryan that night, he might have lost his life.
Oh, yeah.
Just might have.
Like, and that's what I'm thinking. What if Vince is hiring all these indie darlings, using them for like 2 seconds,
Just
and then letting them go and saying that like, he's proved they aren't draws? What if he's cutting them off before they can get the chance to become the next Daniel Bryan?
yeah. That's a good
I,
point. I actually really like that point because it makes a lot of sense. Because you think about, especially everyone after him that's come up through the Indies. I mean, AJ Styles is probably the closest. Um,
yeah.
so I guess maybe, I guess if you had to do a top three indie darlings, right? Like I'd say probably like Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles, Finn Balor,
Yeah.
and then everything else is like not so standout, I guess. Like Finn Balor, like is a standout because he was first Universal Champion. I mean, Kevin Owens was
Hmm.
first, not first, but he was a Universal Champion, but it wasn't nearly as standout.
No, he was fed
Um,
to Goldberg.
and he was because he was fed to Goldberg. Sami Zayn just fucking won his first like singles title on the main roster. What last year?
Hmm.
Um,
And what was it? Fuck, with Kevin Owens, he's the perfect example. He was champion for what, 200 something days? And
yeah, for a while.
what do people remember about his reign though?
Goldberg.
Goldberg.
That's the first thing. It's not gonna be the segments with Jericho as good as they were. Fucking, it's
Uh-huh.
gonna be him getting randomly fed to Goldberg.
Exactly. Vince doesn't want another Daniel Bryan on his hands
Like,
because
yeah,
Vince doesn't like, in my opinion, he doesn't like the choice being taken out of his hands, who's over and who's not.
right, right, and not having that control obviously is like probably something that he doesn't think is good for business. But I mean, realistically, the fucking I've I've seen people fantasy book fucking weeks of Raw shows way better than anything that those fucking smooth-brained idiots could ever come up with. Fucking
I agree. I
it's
feel like,
we
and this may,
have talked about it's like I want to do a video one day of where we really flesh out the fucking storyline that could have happened between Aleister Black and the Fiend. I want it because we talked about that. That was one that we wanted to see
oh
so
yeah,
much where it culminated in the casket match. That would have been so good. I want to flesh that all out one day and do a video on it. Just prove like yeah, like you don't need to have a fucking writing degree to fucking like be a pro wrestling writer. Like being a fan is more than enough because you know exactly what people want. Like obviously there's some nuances and stuff with writing that like you learn from having a degree that like would help make it better. But you can learn all that. Like it's not like it's fucking there's so much stuff like it, like you see all these people like with predictions and stuff before it happens and then you're like, "Oh yeah, like that would be a good direction." And then they fucking collapse the top rope.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Like
it literally take your feet out from under you.
I, t- exactly. Like, uh, like what are you doing? You crazy? And I usually we talk about how his creative is bad, but you know what? I'm not gonna blame creative as much anymore because you know what? You know how many times I've seen a lot of the sources that we follow, and it's probably a lot of the same sources other wrestling fans follow. How many times I've seen them report that creative will work hard all week long, come up with a script, and Vince McMahon will get
And yeah,
to
then he'll
Monday
axe
Night
it,
Raw.
and they'll have to rewrite it like however many minutes fucking before the show. Yeah,
Yeah,
that happened.
get like
That's happened a lot. That's been there a lot of reports of that, especially this year that I can think of. Fucking
exactly like
if you
it,
follow people like What Culture and Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful, like
it
you will see these reports happen a lot. So yeah,
exactly, and it's like this is Vince McMahon. This is all Vince McMahon. Anybody that says any different, oh no, it's Triple H and it's John Laurinaitis and it's all
like what's
no,
Triple H doing axing the Monday Night Raw script?
like, exactly, exactly,
What? Are you
like
are you fucking daft?
like it's everybody's fault but Vince McMahon. Like
Yeah,
it's either everybody's fault but Vince McMahon, or there's no problem with Vince or the WWE. There's no problem with it.
right.
And I'm tired of me. I personally am tired of accepting all the excuses and hoping that it'll turn around. Until we take a stand and stop, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm?
Stop accepting his crap. Nothing's gonna change.
Oh yeah.
And people think that people listening might think, "Oh, you're just full of crap." Okay, you keep on watching, and in a year when Omos is the WWE champion, I don't want you to say shit to me.
Right. Yeah.
like,
Right.
like nobody likes Omos. Nobody likes Omos. Like, I'm sorry, he may be one of the greatest dudes I've ever met. Like, he might be a total sweetheart, but like nobody likes Omos. Anybody that tells me they like Omos, I want some of what they smoking. Like,
I need a good blunt right now. That's what I need. Fuck.
like
Wow.
it's it's just man. Like I said earlier, it's I love professional wrestling, and I know Vince says he's in sports entertainment or whatever, but What makes you your money is professional wrestling. I'm sorry to tell you, Vince. And Vince just he ain't got it no more, man. Or he may have it and he just refuses.
Yeah.
Or he refuses to do it because he doesn't like it. But you know what, Vince? You at one point may not have liked Stone Cold Steve Austin, but then Stone Cold Steve Austin became your biggest star.
Yeah.
Like,
Like what is preventing him from giving these people a chance? Is it because of the Daniel Bryan effect? You know what I mean? Like, is it because of stuff like that? I don't. It's hard to fucking fathom as to why these people just don't get opportunities. It's not like opportunities are deserved. I was like some people from like our perspective, we that deserve them, but they're earned. But I think a lot of people have earned these opportunities though. I think, and the fact that you're not willing to even attempt to like see what could happen, like that's concerning. Like,
yep,
I feel like Tony Khan and AEW, they're able to fucking um, take chances on people, and it's like they're just kind of it's a lot of it, especially in the early days, was a lot of it was just like throwing stuff at the walls and seeing what sticks with people. But
I
it's
agree.
like that was
What
like
happened to the Vince McMahon that had balls, who wasn't afraid to take risks? You know what I'm saying?
what happened to ruthless aggression?
Exactly. What happened to the Attitude Era Vince, the Ruthless Aggression Era Vince,
Hmm.
the Vince that strive to put on the best product for the fans to get him money? Like, Vince seems to forget that the fans pay the bills.
Yep.
Like, and
Couldn't say it
like
better.
I I I will admit I'm a diehard WWE guy, but when diehards like me and you are starting to go, okay, I'm tired of this. I want something better for myself. I'm not just going to accept this anymore. You
Hmm.
got to come to a realization that you have a problem.
Oh yeah.
Like, I know in the what 2 years since AEW started, Vince has said he doesn't see them as a threat, that they're not a problem. Vince, they're becoming a problem because they started off slow and then they gain ratings. And then they gain more ratings than your NXT show. And they haven't quite reached SmackDown, but boy, they're gaining on Monday Night Raw. And that's supposed to be your flagship show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
your your viewership is dropping on Monday Night Raw, and AEW's viewership has just been going up. They have a slow week every now and then, yeah, but for the most part, they're killing you where it matters in the what 18 to 35 range.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're beating your ass. And like, when do you admit you got a problem? When do you admit the shit that you like isn't working? When do you admit that you fucked up in releasing Keith Lee, Bray Wyatt, Karrion Cross, Scarlett, Mia Yim, like Daniel Bryan,
Just letting these
like
people
CM
walk.
Punk?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you wouldn't have been so shitty at what you're doing, Vince, you would have never lost CM Punk. CM Punk loved wrestling. You made CM Punk hate wrestling. You made CM Punk stay away from wrestling for 7 years.
Yeah. And a lot of
Like,
and a lot of the blame definitely falls onto Vince McMahon. I'm sure a lot of people will be, oh, there's probably some other people involved. It's like he's this fucking like CEO of the company or whatever. Buck stops there, kind of. Like it's the it's not like he. Let's say Vince doesn't exactly always have a hand in like personally creating these feelings. It's the fucking culture that he's cultivated over at WWE. It is, and it's those fucking smooth brain yes men like John Laurinaitis that he surrounds himself with that that helps cultivate this environment, makes it
Oh yeah,
like
him and Michael Hayes.
I would love to have a sit down conversation with everybody in that roster and see if who in their honest mind could look me in the eyes that doesn't have a fucking a worry in their contract and say that like WWE is better than AEW right now.
Seth Rollins would, but that's because he's a dick sucker.
Yeah, I love Seth Rollins, but he's
He's blind, man, because
because
he's blind because he's
he's
one of
safe.
Vince's.
Yeah, he's safe.
He is exactly.
Yeah.
I, I,
Anybody who says that like you hear people like Charlotte who say that oh well WWE's the big leagues. It's like yeah, it's the big leagues because they're giving you everything you want. It's
mm-hmm. Like
it's not
people like Charlotte, Roman, Seth, and maybe I would say the Miz because Vince kind of kisses the Miz's ass, and
yeah, the Miz's outreach with through other media with WWE is too good to let go. So
exactly, like, but all them people that are sitting in catering, all those people that want their releases, like all those people.
yep.
You think they don't know? You think they won't blab? Like,
I can't
I
wait to hear what some of these new releases have to say about the company, in their
oh
promo
yeah,
because everybody's been they take shots. Interested to see some of the things that they say because even if it's
I
cutting a promo and they're playing a character, it does kind of put things into perspective. Like these are real
I
people
agree.
that feel this way too.
You know, um, and one person's already spoken out, and it's Nia Jax, and we've talked about her before.
Hmm.
We aren't the biggest fans because she has had a history of injuring other competitors. Um, but she was like,
She didn't deserve to get
she,
axed for a vaccine, if that's the
yeah,
case. Should that be the
not
case?
just not just that. It's she. Do you know why she wasn't on TV? Because
And
she had a mental health breakdown and asked for time off so she could recuperate and then come back.
so they fired her on like a fucking mental health sabbatical?
Yes,
Fucking Christ, I could not imagine.
she
That would not
posted it
make
on.
anything better for me.
Yeah, like
Of course,
she
that's
posted it
definitely
on
not making
Twitter
anything better
or
for me.
Instagram. I can't remember which, but she spoke out about it. She's like, the reason I haven't been on TV is because I had a mental like breakdown, and and I was going through all this shit and blah 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 blah, and that's when she got the call. And she said in the post that they didn't say anything about the vaccine. That's just insiders saying that the people around Vince are that Vince is saying that Vince and his people are saying that.
Hmm.
But yeah, she's been off TV because she had a mental health breakdown. So they in the middle of her mental health crisis, and she said they wanted her to come back this month. So she requested a little more time off because she hadn't fully recovered from her breakdown. And that's when they told her she was fired.
It's nuts.
That's like I don't I don't Nia Jax isn't my personal favorite. I have had issues with some of the stuff she's done in the ring with injuring people,
Right.
but she didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Like, I mean, she's been fairly unsafe in the ring. It wasn't my favorite at all. But that like said, if it's especially like vaccine implications and within the fucking mental health stuff too. Like that's a fucking horrible reason to fucking fire somebody. This reminds me of like
exactly.
whenever I don't think this is like doxing myself or anything. So I used to work at Walmart, like personally,
Good.
and you remember because you worked there with me. Fucking,
Yep.
were you there at the time whenever they fired that lady for having a fucking heart attack at work?
No,
So,
they
oh
fired.
yeah. Yeah, so bro, she had a heart attack on the floor, like at the front, like by the cash registers and shit. Had a fucking heart attack. It was around Christmas,
Damn.
bro. They literally like she went, got okay, like doctors and the hospital, everything. They did what they could with her, and fucking because she didn't report the days that she was gonna be missing, they axed her right after having a
Like,
heart attack. Because yeah, it's like, of course she's not gonna fucking call out. She can barely move. What are you, the fuck? What are you talking about?
the lady had a heart attack.
The lady had a
Exactly.
whole ass heart attack in the hospital, lost her job in the fucking hospital bed. I'm pretty sure
And
she took him to court, which obviously, I mean, you do, but I mean, it didn't stop them from doing that fucked up thing. You know what I mean? Like they can still do it.
I agree. And it's mm.
And you worked, I mean, you worked at that store, so you know how some of the management were in that building.
Oh yeah,
So
I remember. I remember when I was hired, they
this is,
promised me they promised me Sundays off.
hmm
And this is a part of the reason I quit. They promised me Sundays off 3 or 4 weeks into the job. Uh, they took my Sundays away, and when I went to management and asked why I wasn't off on Sundays, the lady said, "Oh, if I knew you needed Sundays off, I would have never hired you." And then, like, the big thing that made me quit was I was maintenance, and the the men's bathroom in the back. Uh, somebody went in there and looked like they projectile vomited from their behind all over the back stall. And I was like, "Yep, nope, I'm
yeah,
done with this."
yeah, I don't blame you on that one. Uh,
But
but
that's it's
but that
the
but
same
that
thing
that
with
that
knives.
Nia Jax situation reminds me of this lady that I used to work with at Walmart. Fucking
Exactly.
so that reminds me of that, like how fucked up that is. And it's
And the
like
same
everything
the
that was
same with Keith
encompassed in that.
Lee.
Right.
Keith
Dude,
Lee has health issues.
yeah, they actually had like a heart issue, so that's even more
Yeah,
comical. So,
wasn't able, like, the man had a serious problem. He went and got it fixed. You and because he wasn't able to take the push when you wanted him to take the push, you never really let him come back from it. You put him on TV, what, a handful of times, and then you let him go. Like,
yeah,
you I feel like
and think about the optics of how especially that one looks, right? The optics of it. We're still technically in the middle of this fucking pandemic, right? It's not over, right?
yeah.
Like still have mask mandates and, vaccines being distributed every day. Fucking
Mhm.
imagine the optics of fucking I'm surprised nobody has made a bigger issue of this. Dude literally almost died from COVID.
Mhm.
He got better. You let him get better, I guess, which is I guess will withhold them from any sort of like wrongdoing in some people's eyes. But fucking like let him get better, and then axed him like right whenever he was healthy to get back. It wasn't like he was some fucking like complete like health liability or anything. Like I don't know the full extent of his health situation, but he was able to get back in the ring, have matches. You gave him a new
Uh,
gimmick. Let him
Put
run
him
with
in
this
a
Bearcat
squash match
thing,
or two. Yeah.
right? And so like
He
to
changed
me
his
the
theme music
optics
like 4 times.
is the way that it looks in order to like because now especially because who knows what kind of no compete clause he has. He's probably out of work at most 3 months, maybe I mean, or at least 3 months. I would imagine they'd have given Keith Lee a 90-day no compete. So fucking uh, he's not gonna. So after this dude damn near died from COVID, you mean to tell me that he got better? You axed him. He's gonna be on the shelf for like 4 or 5 months because who knows whenever he's gonna debut somewhere else, right?
Mhm.
So he's
It,
got this
it
no
won't be
compete
until after.
clause, trying to work through fucking contract negotiations, and he's not making any money.
Mhm.
And this is
Yep.
someone that almost died from the fucking COVID.
Yeah. And he won't be able to do anything until after early next year.
Yeah, like his year is over.
So like you and what gets me is you let all these people go right before the holidays. Like
That too, yeah.
like you couldn't have kept them through then and then cut them. No, nah, nope. I don't want to pay them for the holidays. They can go home.
Right.
Like
Like what the fuck is that?
now, instead of being able to maybe spend money on their families and all this shit, they've got to save their money so that
Yeah.
they can pay their bills and shit like that. It's
It's ridiculous, man.
all you people that are anti me right now, all y'all that are hating on me for all the comments I've made in this podcast, you could I want you to look at all those people that have lost their jobs this year and tell them that they're no good, that they deserved it. All those talented people who are going other places, succeeding at the thing Vince McMahon is telling you they're no good at. Like,
Hmm.
like I want you to tell me that there's not a problem.
Right. I don't
Like that.
I don't think that anybody could really stand there and give a solid argument, honestly, as to why like any of this is good or like any of these people deserved it or anything. They wouldn't be able to come up with a solid argument for sure. Um, I just it I I want to see all these people do really good, and I'm sure they will. But I think the point still remains though that this is a huge problem, and it's like I'm gonna pull up the website and just kind of go through their roster.
Oh yeah. Like
Let's just
I
kind of
feel
go
like
through their roster.
Vince. I feel like Vince brings up. He brings in all of your favorite indie wrestlers. He shits on them and he puts them back out there.
Yeah.
Like he lets them go. He's like, "Oh, I'll bring in your favorites, but I'm gonna shit all over them and then fire them."
Right. It just feels so fucking weird, man. So as I'm going through the roster, like it is just so fucking depleted now. I guess I mean if the goal was to fucking have a roster centered around 20 people and like I guess like a fucking bunch of side characters, then he's doing what he wants. I guess I just like I go through Raw's roster. They have give me a second to count here. 58 people on Raw's roster, and that's not all including like wrestling talent. Like just going through like they have people like Triple H, Titus O'Neil, fucking Stephanie McMahon, Sarah Schreiber like on this list. So not everybody like there's all the people that are a part of Raw. Not everyone's a wrestling talent either. So you have like people like Adam Pearce on the list, fucking Byron
Mm-hmm.
Saxton. So like there's 58 names on this list here, and a good majority of them are not actually wrestling at the moment or
Oh
wrestling at
yeah,
all.
and, and
So there's that.
that's
So what was that? 58 for Raw. SmackDown. Let's see. Give me a second to count. This is a repeat name, Adam Pearce.
mm-hmm.
So let's see. For did they? Oh wait, did they change Angel Garza's name to just Angel?
They might have
It looks like they
probably.
did. It looks like they actually did because it's just how he's presented now on on the SmackDown roster. Like I'm shitting you not. It just says Angel.
That's pitiful.
Did they change Humberto's name too? Yeah, they did. Now he's just Humberto. Can't have a last name. Garza is a fucking popular wrestling name too. You don't want that in your company. What about what about speaking of popular wrestling names? What about Braun Breaker? Why can't he use the Steiner name? Is there like some legal thing with that?
I, I don't. It's his. I don't think that. I don't think there is a legal thing with that because I think their real name is Steiner, right? So if
It's a
he
part. I
chose
think
to
it's
use,
I think it's Rex Steiner or something, but it's a part of it. So it's like, and he is Rick Steiner's son.
so he, I don't think there would be anything legally that even if Scott Steiner had an issue with it, I don't think there was anything he could do about it because he is an actual Steiner.
Right.
Um, but that's something else that I forgot to
47 for
mention
SmackDown.
earlier.
58,
47.
47, and a lot of them were repeat names and stuff for like officials and shit. Like
Uh,
fucking. So you have like Adam Pearce, Mr. McMahon, fucking uh, Triple H is in there, I believe. Stephanie. So I mean, a lot of repeat names and stuff, and a lot of officials. Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, stuff like that. So like once again, so this is what 40, 48 something. Like this is once again a bunch of people who aren't actually wrestling. And then let's go to NXT. Like, give me a second to count if you can go on about whatever you want. But fucking let's see, 4, 8,
well,
8,
not
32,
just that, but think about this. Like
8.
I wanted to mention it earlier, but I had so much other stuff that I forgot to say it. Like all those talented people you just released or have released this year, Bray Wyatt, Keith Lee, Karrion
66.
Cross, uh, Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan, all of those guys. How come they're not good enough for you, but you keep Titus O'Neil on the payroll? Nothing against Titus O'Neil. He's a great dude. He does a lot of charity work. He's a phenomenal human being. But what is Titus doing?
Right.
When's the last time Titus was on TV? When's the last time anybody wanted to see Titus in the wrestling ring? Don't get me wrong, phenomenal dude, great dude. I I think he'd be an asset to any company. He's just an incredible human being.
Right.
But like honestly, what is he doing? You're paying him to what? Go around and promote?
Yeah. Like I just don't get that. So I had a crazy realization looking at these rosters.
Mm-hmm.
66 names for NXT. 66, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except not one of these names is a repeat.
Hmm.
Not one. Triple H isn't on the list. Stephanie McMahon's not on it. Mr. McMahon's not on it. So here's an interesting thought. Your biggest roster of talent, your actual most vast roster of talent that you have, you can't seem to fucking do something with once you get them on what you consider to be your main shows. You can't find something for these guys at all? Fucking really?
I,
You get caught up. It's 66 names. Obviously, not everybody's fucking wrestling. Like Alicia Taylor, Beth Phoenix. Fucking. So there's some people that are out with injury. They haven't wrestled in a while in here, right? But I mean, like about 66 names. With the officials and stuff. Let's drop it down to like 55. Let's say that, because let's say 55 names. Fucking all these people are coming up from this like vast ocean of talent, which is constantly getting refilled. You can't do anything with them. This is your
I,
biggest crop of talent, and you're failing this fucking hard. That is
I see.
abysmal.
Yeah, but hey, this time next year, that roster might be down to 21.
21.
Yeah, I mean, what Vince has released, uh, if the amount of people Vince released this year was strictly NXT, they'd have two people on the NXT roster. Two.
It'd probably just be the commentators.
Exactly.
Just be fucking Be Wade Barrett and fucking what's his face? God damn, I can't think of his
Se-
name.
And I want people to realize that all the talented wrestlers that got released this year, all of them, like if that was Raw or SmackDown, there would be no Raw or SmackDown. That's the equivalent of getting rid of one of those shows.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what I've noticed too is that they don't ever release any of the NXT UK people. They just completely forgot that they exist, I think.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked to see Walter on one of those lists
Oh
because
yeah.
Walter doesn't have that look.
Oh. But what he does have is a big ass right hand.
Oh yes.
I don't know. I wouldn't be the one to tell. I wouldn't want to be the one to tell Walter he just got axed. It's
Oh
take
no.
a frying pan to the face.
Oh, Vince might lose some teeth that day.
I'm telling you.
I I just I know we've said a lot today. I don't know anymore, man.
Yeah, I think we've definitely made the point and we've talked about it. We've gone over so much. Um, but yeah, this is like this is just like some really just wrestling fans fucking just talking off the cuff about like why this bothers us and like making connections and stuff in our head obviously. So like this is honestly like I think I'm exiting this like with a little bit more disdain given like some of the things that we've talked about. Like I think
Me too.
it is really hard to support this company. Um, and it's a damn everything I love this year has just gone to fucking shit, huh? Like fucking WWE is fucking up with all these releases. Let's not even talk about Blizzard Entertainment. Uh, just the fucking WWE of the gaming world. Um, and I mean that's a whole fucking another box of worms. But man, you could really actually kind of compare the two situations, right? It was like I grew up a huge World of Warcraft fan, right? Obviously,
hmm
Blizzard makes World of Warcraft, Warcraft titled games, and fucking everything that's happened. If you don't know, Blizzard had like some sexual harassment lawsuits and stuff filed by the state of California against them for what they described it as having like a frat frat lifestyle like within the office. Like had like some people like cube crawling and shit. It was a disgusting display. But what I'm trying to get at here is obviously like there's not any reports like that coming up from WWE, but you have all this stuff that's going on behind the scenes that is affecting the quality of the product that they're bringing forth to you, and it's just dying. They're not like there's something in both these companies. There's some fucking cancer, there's some tumor that needs to be cut out. Unfortunately, for WWE's case, I'm pretty sure the tumor is at the very top.
hmm
So it's fucking. I know a lot of people have said, "Oh, it's been time for Vince to retire." I think I would rather see it. It's gonna be difficult watching and trying to support WWE, knowing that this could happen again at any point. Obviously, we'll probably end up watching for the podcast and stuff to talk about it. But I think this is definitely going to be more on the back of our minds whenever we talk about the product moving forward. Like how just this is it's such everything is such a fucking mess. It seems
hmm
it's just so bad, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna get any better. Like it feels like they're just trying to fall off the face of the earth at this point. But no, yeah, there's definitely some shit that's going on behind the scenes, and a lot of it, doing with the releases and stuff is like just stuff that we don't know about. It's affecting the quality of the product. it makes it harder to watch and it's harder to support. It's like for
I,
example,
I agree.
like I've maybe played WoW and logged in for a total of like 10 minutes over the last like 5 months, 6 months since all that stuff's like come to fruition and stuff. It's like I love it. I
Hmm.
always want to play it, but it's hard to fucking log in and know that for example like the dog shit state of the game is a lot to do with you know the shit that's going on behind the scenes. It's like a lot of the reason that fucking uh, WWE is falling behind to AEW is because all of our favorite wrestlers are on AEW now.
Hmm.
They just fucking release them all. It's sad, man. It's depressing, and it's like obviously like whenever we're talking and talking shit and saying the things that we do, it's not that we want to fucking hate on them.
No.
We don't want this. This is not we don't want to fucking have to go live and or make videos and fucking tell people how disgusted we are. You know what I mean? Like this,
Hmm.
it's not fun for us. I don't like talking and being negative all the time, but it's
No.
what it is. It's like my granddad once told me a very funny saying, and this is how it resonates with me. It's a twist on one, right? That he says, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck.
Hmm.
My granddad like to say, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, well, it's not a fucking mongoose.
That's true.
And the way that I take that saying is like, it is what it is. Don't try to make it something that it isn't. So fucking, it's you know, I'm very much someone who will talk about it the way it is. I don't like sugarcoating anything. Um, and
Hmm.
the state of WWE right now it is in a state of emergency. I think.
Oh yeah.
You got you got all this whatever internal struggles there are that are leading to fucking 65 people losing their job. There's all that. There's got to be something going on, and fucking is diminishing the quality of the product. You have another company that is highly on the rise. They have a fucking rocket strapped to their behind, going straight to the moon, and you don't see them as a threat. You're not willing to make any changes to fucking counteract what they're doing because and I don't think even AEW really sees WWE as a threat necessarily. I think they just have so much to prove as to like how they are the best company in the world. Like they still have so much to prove for that. I think they already know they're the best and
Hmm.
everybody wants to go here. Fucking it's just a matter of like proving it each week at this point. And I think they're doing a great job. Um, it's going to be hard to topple an empire that's lasted for however many years now. It's just like just so
I agree.
but
I don't- yeah.
that it needs to be taken seriously, and that goes to show too is the fact that none of this is being taken seriously. Just once again goes to show like this is not we're not in a good spot.
I, I agree, and that's the whole point I was trying to get across was look at all this shit. You gotta quit just accepting it, man. It's
Not good.
honestly, if it wasn't for the podcast, I wouldn't watch Raw, SmackDown, or NXT anymore.
Yeah,
I'm be straight up with you. I would not watch them anymore.
yeah, we
I, I, I don't like it. I I like what Roman's doing. I like the bloodline. They have some okay stuff going on at SmackDown, but the crap that they put out on Raw and their pay-per-views, it's just not worth it. Honestly, not when I can go to AEW and get such an amazing product.
right,
You know, like when I can get amazing matches, amazing promos, amazing storytelling. Like, why am I gonna sit here and be force fed shit I don't want to watch by some senile old man and his company when I can go watch stuff that I like?
right.
Like, and it's not that I want to see Vince fail. I want I want everything in the world to go right for WWE. I want them to put on a good show. I want WrestleMania to be the biggest show of the year, the biggest and best show of the year.
Hmm.
I want to be excited for the Rumble, the Royal Rumble. I want to see the amazing Survivor Series, Survivor Series matches. Like I want all of that, and that's the problem. I want all of it, but they're not giving it to us, and I don't want to see them fail. And that's what's so heart wrenching about it. It's not that AEW is a better product or that uh, I'm I'm anti WWE or nothing like that. It's all this anger that's coming out during this podcast, at least for me, is because I love WWE and I want them to succeed and I want them to put on the best product. And in my opinion, they're purposefully not doing that because
Right.
Vince McMahon wants you to like the product that he likes. Vince wants you to like what Vince likes, and that's not fair. It's not fair to make millions of people that love pro wrestling try to force your own wants and likes onto them. It's just not fair. People like Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry that people don't like Omos or in Goldberg or or any of that other crap you put out. I'm sorry that they don't like that.
Right.
But if you give them what they like, they'll give you the money that you're looking for.
Yep.
And listen,
It'll all just be better. Just listen to the fans.
exactly. Just listen to the fans.
Show that you care. That's what
I,
AEW. That's what AEW does. That's all
I
that that's all they do. That's like probably the first thing they think about whenever they go to like think about how the show's gonna be set up is fucking
you're right. And
what
you
do the
know
fans want to see? What would from a fan's perspective? What would we want to see? Blah blah blah. They go from it from there. Fucking Vince fucking goes and pulls names out of a hat and is like, I don't like the randomness. I'm gonna do it. Fucking
Mhm. I
just
agree, and I don't think I could have said it better. Give the fans what they want. That's why your product has always succeeded in the past. You've given the people what they wanted.
yep.
Um, it's that's why AEW is succeeding right now because AEW gives the fans what they want. They treat their talent like they're human beings,
Yeah.
and they're just all around good.
Yep. Yep.
But
And it's hard for me to say anything negative about AEW.
it is.
It's hard for me to say, and it's God, it's so fucking hard to even have an opinion as a wrestling fan, because then they're gonna be, oh, you're
Hmm.
just an AEW mark. Like no
Hmm.
like you just suck the shit out of my asshole. Fucking, I grew up a WWE fan. Actually, fucking WWE, among a handful of other things, is one of the reasons I'm still fucking above ground. Like pro wrestling is one of the reasons I'm fucking above ground right now. Fucking, I so it's hard, and we touched on it. It's hard for us to watch the things that we've loved and that we cared about, and it's like for me this has provided solace in times, especially like times now, like even like with everything going on in our lives personally. It's just like I haven't really had a chance to watch everything, but getting to sit down and talk about it has taken my mind off of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it's something that I'm very passionate about. So it's it annoys me, and I feel like I was had a fuck damn near manic breakdown earlier, is because this shit really does bother me. Fucking
Yep.
the fact that we are consistently getting the shit into the stick. We're getting the smaller of the wishbone. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to deal with as a fan. But when you have a especially like It's like WWE is the toxic relationship, and fucking the AEW is the new person that's come into your life that's shown you that they could be much better than what you got.
Yep.
I can feel like everybody's kind of been in a situation like that. Yeah, so fucking WWE is your toxic ex. Fucking AEW is your perfect relationship. It is. It's like I said earlier. Um, AEW makes pro wrestling entertaining. WWE tries to entertain with pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's all I see from them. They try. At points they try, and sometimes they succeed. Most of the time, as of right now, though, it's not resonating well.
Yeah.
It's like not,
I I agree.
and not everything has to be like a complex thing or anything. It doesn't have to be complex and like the bloodline or anything like that. It's just fucking just tell a good story.
Yeah.
That's what it was all about, right? Like somewhere along the line they've diverted that, like they've just gone away from that. I don't know why. But just go back to a formula that works. Listen to the fans. Fucking, you know, like give us what we want sounds a little selfish, but it's like we are the whole reason you're here.
Yep.
So fucking, like, why is it so hard to just fucking give us, even if it's just a match we want to see? Like,
I
like you, I mean, obviously run your company the way you want, I guess, but fucking, the fact that you've completely managed to alienate your entire fucking loyal fan base is absolutely insane to me.
uh,
So,
I I 100% agree. I don't think I could have said it better myself, or if I could even add anything to it. It's just what happened. Like, when did you stop caring about the fans?
yeah,
Like,
where
when
did it
did
all
it
go
all
wrong?
become about your greed and your wants and what you want?
Yeah, I don't know why that
Like,
just fucking played. I
like
open up
as
the
a fan, I feel like you don't care about me anymore.
right, yeah. Um, so it's like, all right, well, we're gonna go to somewhere where we're cared for, and
Hmm.
we get something entertaining, and what we're willing to provide, like money to see these pay-per-views is like I'm telling you, I would not mind spending $50 a pay-per-view for four pay-per-views than to renew my fucking Peacock subscription.
Hmm.
So I mean, you know,
It,
you know what I
it's
mean?
true.
Like, it's at that point. It's just I know,
Exactly.
like, especially whenever like AEW pay-per-views come around, shit,
Oh
I'd buy it
yeah.
twice. That All Out was incredible. Full Gear is gearing up, no pun intended, to be on that level too.
Oh
So,
yeah.
shit, man. I just, it's a shame, but I mean, I don't think anything's going to change until Vince is out of the company, and even then, like, who takes his place? Is it gonna go to Triple H? Is it gonna go to Shane or Stephanie, or is he gonna pick fucking John Laurinaitis or fucking
Michael P.S. Hayes.
yeah, or what the fuck is the con that's over there? Uh, God, I can't remember his name, but he's part of the releases too and shit. So fucking
Yeah,
yeah,
man. I don't know.
yeah. It's depressing. It's sad, and
Hmm.
I want I want this to be so much better. Obviously, we both do. But um, it's if we yeah, like you said, if we didn't have the show, I wouldn't be watching anymore. Um,
Hmm.
so I guess that just is really like the only way I could put it into perspective. Like it is so bad, and like you can't defend it. You try to enjoy it, but it's not enjoyable. like why even waste your time? And so that's how it feels. And like I know from a lot of like casual fans, like, they probably will turn it off, or like even some hardcore fans, they'll turn it off. Not everybody does a fucking show like this or tries to. So it's not like they feel like they have a reason to sit down and watch it and try to is like if you don't have a reason to watch it, if you're not giving these people a reason to watch it, fucking I don't know, just expect AEW to get even bigger. Uh, I don't know what else to say about that. Like how do you not how can you not see them as a threat? Like, are you so blind to everything that's going on in front of you? Like it's so crazy when like you step back and just look at everything from like the broad spectrum of it. It just none of it makes fucking sense. It's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? What's your plan? And there's no communication for us. We're, as fans, we're left in the dark about a lot, and that's to be expected from some businesses. But it's fucking like, and this has gone on for like 2 years of this fucking this slow burn of disdain that it's gonna blow up eventually, and I guarantee there's gonna be some people on that next list that it's gonna break some people's hearts for sure.
Yep.
Um, it's like this one fucking like I looked at it as like I was upset, I was sad, but I wasn't fucking surprised, and that's the worst part about it. Like that's probably the worst emotion to have with it. It's like none of it makes,
Mhm.
but it's none of it makes sense. But I wasn't surprised that it happened. It's fucking. I guess
And
that's our life now.
yeah, and for those who are like, well, I'm still good. Well, how long is it before your favorite superstar, or yeah, before your favorite superstar is on that list?
Yeah, I challenge a lot of these fans to question how much they really care.
Hmm.
It's like, how much do you really care about what you're watching? Do you actually love this? It's like if you're a casual fan, I'm not gonna hate on you for being casual,
Hmm.
but I don't think you can I don't think you can call yourself a hardcore fan of wrestling, of WWE, of any wrestling promotion, and see what's going on and realize this is some fucking dog shit. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've probably said everything I could say um, as of right now. Is there anything that you want
Me,
to add?
no, no, man. I just that I wish WWE would start caring about the fans again.
Yeah,
That's the biggest. I think that's the whole point I was trying to make through this whole podcast. Is I just wish they'd start caring about their fans again.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's mind blowing for sure that this is the way it is. But
hmm.
oh well.
Yeah,
Oh fucking well. Uh, so I guess luckily we have AEW and they're killing it. So
yeah.
and
For
uh,
all those who are sick of WWE and their baloney, go watch
yeah,
AEW. You'll be uh quite surprised, pleasantly surprised at that.
yeah. I feel like you know if like I said before, if you consider yourself a fan of professional wrestling and you haven't given AEW a chance yet, you're completely missing out. Um,
Yeah,
it's to a point where honestly, I don't think you could call yourself a hardcore wrestling fan and not appreciate what AEW is doing. At least, like
yeah,
they have completely flipped the wrestling world on its head. So, um, and like I was like it took like it took us a while to fucking even give it a shot. It took me up until this
yeah,
year to give it a chance. There were some
yes,
things that I kept in touch with. Like I'm a huge Jericho fan, so fucking like I pay attention to like what goes on with him and like with Moxley and stuff. But I didn't really get into it until this year, and I watched one episode and was hooked immediately. That goes to show, and maybe it's just me, but I think it really goes to show the quality of their product because it's not just me that this happens to. I mean, this is there's a lot of conversion that's happened over the last 2 3 years, so um, it's only gonna get bigger for them there's gonna be even bigger names hit the market. Pretty sure we're gonna see one day that Kevin Steen is all elite. I'm almost 100% sure in my mind that that's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Um, so yeah, um, yeah. I think, like I said, I think we've probably covered about everything that we could.
Yeah.
Um, but damn, uh, I really don't want to have to make another video like this.
Yeah.
So I hope, you know, something changes. Um, some something positive starts happening for them, and it's like we don't add any more to the 65 names that have lost their jobs this year. Um,
Hmm.
so you know, we we need something to happen. They need to figure it out. You know, I mean, we as fans could say how we feel, however much we want for the rest of our lives. It's not going to change anything because we're not going to listen. So I hope that something changes, but until then, I'm not going to expect anything anymore. I don't think I'm going to expect anything from WWE. I think maybe lowering my expectations might give me a different view of the product at this point, and I shouldn't have to do that. I don't think. I don't think any of us should have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be expecting anything from them anymore. I think I'm putting from this day forward putting all my faith into AEW as a company. I'll have faith in certain standalone wrestlers from WWE and stuff, but uh, WWE as a company has completely lost my faith. Um,
Yeah.
I will still watch for the podcasts to review. You know, this is something because it's something I like to do, but um, fuck, this is. I never thought I would say something like this, like about WWE. Like, but it
Yeah.
just goes to show. I mean, you can't go shitting on your fans for so long, right? You can only do it for so long. You can only go
Yeah.
shitting on your talent for so long. And now, like, back then, CM Punk drops the pipe bomb. There wasn't another company you could go to on the same level or near the same level to where it actually like would make a difference. Like now that there's that there, this all resonates differently with people. It hits different. So, um, because they see that there's other opportunities, other places, and it just makes the quality of other places get better. I don't need to explain it. Fucking
Exactly.
so man. Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered every base we could. Maybe hit a couple home runs. Maybe hit a couple foul balls. I don't know. But but shit, man. Anything at all left in closing?
Nothing from me, man.
Well, shit. Like I said, hopefully we don't have to make another video like this. And we will be attempting to come back for the weekly shows. Obviously, like we both got a lot in our personal lives going on right now. It's hard to dedicate time to do because we both work and whatnot. So it's gonna be uh, difficult to get the time together, but we're gonna make the attempts. Everything's starting to work itself out. So um, for anyone who cares to listen, appreciate it. Thank you. Um,
Yes.
appreciate you understanding. Us being away for some time. Um, but uh, but yeah. So like I said, try to expect a pod shortly. We'll probably do it covering next week's action, and I do want to bring the top tens back, so we'll figure out something for the top tens. I think we
Hmm.
might do one based around the Royal Rumble or something. Maybe that's a good idea. And yeah, so um, just expect some future content. We'll try to get back to a normal schedule here, and uh, I guess until next time, then fucking just keep your eyes posted. Um, and we'll see you around. Take it easy,
See you
guys.
around, man.
From Diavolo.
And Lunchbox.
Peace out.
Peace out.